light. Feels like I'm meant to strike. Flat earth beneath my feet, knowing I'm here to meet. Ocean's edge, it calls my name. Purpose in this life's game. Horizons line so clear, God's love brings me near. Flat earth made by him, my journey long yet thin. Purpose found in every day, guided by his gentle sway. Mountains tall, they stand in place, yet no curve in this earthly space.
Hello, what's up, Fluffs? Good to see you. Thank you for coming. I'm glad you could all make it. We are joined by Janusz and PJ tonight. It's good to see you guys. It doesn't even help asking Janusz how he is because he's always good. But I think
Yeah, indeed.
but it's good to see you guys. I'm glad you could make it. Good to see everybody in the YouTube lands as well. Thank you all for coming. If you haven't already, do hit the likes, share the show. It really, 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 really does help the show to grow. So thank you very much for everybody being here. Okay, so we're doing part 2 of the review because, I mean, we didn't get very far last time.
Yeah, it's better.
But, hey, and Sophie's in the house. What's up?
There he is.
They tricked us. They said it wasn't going to snow, and I got up and it was snow everywhere. Snow apocalypse, man.
But it doesn't snow where you guys are, man.
It's a conspiracy, man.
While you guys are having snow, we're having flash floods everywhere.
Oh my God!
I'm getting.
Oh,
it's wet and windy. Yeah, wet and windy.
they're having floods all around Fort Knox, Kentucky now. Ever since they announced they're going to go in there and check and see if the gold's there.
Ah, that's weird.
Yeah, isn't it? Coinkadink. Man,
But is there really gold there?
I don't know. And if there is it actually who owns it?
That's the thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, this has been in contention for many, many years, though.
Possibly Jesuits in Vatican.
Possibly.
Well, I don't know. Remember last time Trump was he went and talked to all them people around the world? And he came out like beyond protocol, walking out with the Queen ahead of her. He'd come out of the Vatican talking with the Pope, and the Pope looked like somebody had just dressed him down one side and up the other, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened. What really happened?
Someone's got a bling going on every 2
Yeah, I'm
seconds.
trying to make the damn thing stop. And it won't. I said
Well,
turn off
It's definitely
notifications.
keeping us awake, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
It just keeps going. Oh God, now this thing's gonna open.
I hate that when you turn the notifications off and they go back on.
Yeah, warnings, notifications, exactly.
Especially if you're getting a lot of notifications. Ping, 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 ping.
Yeah, I told it. I said stop notifications, and it just goes bling. Here's another one.
No.
I don't know what's been
I will not
interesting.
stop.
What I've been finding interesting lately is I don't know if you guys have been listening. They've been talking a lot about a asteroid that might impact Earth.
Yeah.
Let me guess. It's the size of 33 sheep.
Yeah. It's BS. It cannot hit. But they can do something, that pretend it was asteroid. So they can send something and say, "Oh, we told you. We are warning you. It's asteroid."
Yeah, but the thing is, they're still trying to work out the path of totality. So they so far they can't really work it out.
Yeah.
So far, it's at like 2% possibility, apparently.
Well,
but the reason
once they suss it all out, I'm sure they'll get like an oil rig team or something like that to go up to space and maybe help us out.
Yeah. Well, for all you know, they have an alien asteroid, alien civilization. So you don't know.
Well, that is yeah.
But I do think this is part of like a big deception.
I wonder why we have seen this kind of film, sci-fi, that the asteroid is hitting the Earth. Was it predictive programming? Or just to program people? I'm definitely a conspiracy theorist.
Deep
And this is why
impact,
us flat earthers laugh. And this is why us flat earthers laugh at all this bullshit, because we know it's all just a
Of
joke.
course.
I
Yep.
mean, you're getting people literally buying doomsday bunkers now in case. They're literally going out and ordering their doomsday bunkers so they can have it, and just in case. It's like, okay.
To be honest, something will happen, but I can tell you one thing: those rich ones who are building those doomsday bunkers, they already build them. They think if they destroy the Earth, later they will come, they'll be free, and so on. No, won't happen, because children of the people who were killed and their offspring and the offspring of their offspring will know the story, will remember. So whenever they pop up on Earth, they'll be back again below the ground.
But the thing that reminds me of every time I see with his doomsday bunkers is like when it talks in the Bible when Jesus comes back to judgment and they cry out to the earth, to the rocks, cover me so I won't get seen.
True.
That's all I think about whenever I see these people with all their doomsday bunkers everywhere.
See, well, I don't need a doomsday bunker. I've got a ticket to the moon base. I'm cool.
Yeah.
That's okay. I'll just hop on one of Elon Musk's rockets and go to Mars. So it'll be fine.
Yeah. Shape of Nikki, yeah. What I read it in the Bible that the safety will be in the mountains.
That's what I said. It will cry out for the rocks to fall on them to cover them.
Yeah.
Hide us from God. And that's all, unfortunately, I see with these people with the bunkers. Don't get me wrong, the bunkers are really cool, but I think it's weird to see the amount of bunkers and people going out their ways these days to build it.
It's you know what?
It's like they're anticipating something, you know what I mean?
It's bonkers.
It's bonkers. And it's usually the rich guys, the rich folk.
Yes.
So, it's a bit odd. But it's all the people fear-mongering.
You tried to fit that camel through that eye of the needle there again.
That's it.
It's all.
But, it's definitely based on fear-mongering.
Without doubt.
I mean, look at it this way. If something happens, we know we're right with God, so why do we have to worry? We just go on, it's part of God's plan. You move on with life. Do we know it's going to be an asteroid? Definitely not going to be an asteroid because space doesn't exist. So it's really idiotic. Anyway, so we're back onto the debate with Alex Stein and FTFE. I think we just got past where they did their opening statements and stuff.
Yeah.
And now they're busy starting to actually have their one-on-one chats. So it should be interesing.
Why after landing, Alex, would you expect dust to be on there?
I would expect. This is
explain
why.
exactly why.
Because this is how it lands.
Guys, you're gonna need one of these where he explains.
No, I'm saying there's a
He would have to show his
9,000 pound
maps, wouldn't he?
rocket, and
Ready?
how it lands, it blasts power, and I guess the power gets weaker as it goes down. So this fire is causing pressure. So when you cause pressure to something, it causes it to displace. So if you had any bit of logic and you had a 9,000 pound rocket and you're landing on dirt, there would be dirt spread around.
Why does Craig look like he's 80 years old there?
Because he took his glasses off.
Tell you what's funny, all you got to do is mention a comic book character or something, and he'll just go right into Marvel mode.
Yes.
He's a nut, that guy. Nothing wrong with him.
I mean, what is the oven mitt for? Is it meant to be some kind of hot potato type thing? Oh, it's like, right. Of course it is. Of course it is. Yeah. Got you.
But the thing is, what Alex just said was correct.
Yeah.
So what is he going to rebut that with?
Just common sense.
Okay, dirt spread around, or
Like you said.
you just made.
You just said displacement. Because the gas from the rockets, the thrusters, do come out, the thrusters, even if there's a vacuum. Guess what? It moves quicker into the vacuum to fill the available space because there's no pushback. The only pushback there is would be the ground, and because it's fine particles, it would disperse it into the surrounding area. So what Alex said was true. There was no oven mitt hitting necessary?
I know. I it's just a reason to show his nuts. I've got merch too, though. Go buy some.
You said space
you've
dirt.
changed your claim. You've changed your claim from there's no dust on
There
the
is no
land.
dust.
No, hold on. You've changed your claim from there's no dust on there to there's no dust spread around. There was dust spread around.
No, he's saying because it's dispersing that goes and it falls on the lunar modules, and there's nothing.
Yeah. But you know why? Because it goes in a perfect parabolic arc. It's when he's talking about the Moon Rover tires, isn't it? Sorry.
Plus,
But
the
yeah,
rocket won't work in a vacuum anyway.
Yeah.
nope. We've seen this many times. Have they been able to demonstrate to us a perfect working rocket in a vacuum yet? No, because they keep presenting it to us in a very small vacuum, and then it hits the container wall, and then it's not a vacuum anymore by the time it moves.
A video that confirms exactly what I was thinking for a while now. Rockets don't work in a vacuum.
Nope. See there?
There's nothing
Then
for
it
a
goes.
rocket to propel. If it's
Once it hit the wall.
devoid of particles in a vacuum, as you can see here, the rocket only begins to move when the gases physically push off the chamber, the vacuum chamber. If rockets really had thrust in a vacuum, this rocket should have immediately started moving the second gases came out of it.
Yeah.
But it only started to move the second the gas started to equalize inside the vacuum chamber and push off the walls of the vacuum chamber and cause it to move. There are no physical walls in space.
Exactly.
There you go.
I don't know how much more clearer we have to make it to these people.
But the reason there is no dust on the foot of the...
There's no blast crater. There's no blast
I am
crater.
so sorry that the middle of my sentence interrupted the beginning of yours. If you give me a second. So the reason there's no dust on the foot of the Moonlander is because there's no disturbance in the air to push that dust back once it has been blown away. There is no...
Yet he claims to use, what's it, like a RC car driving there, because it looks like an RC car, to be honest.
It does.
And the dust coming off the wheels, you can see it going a parabolic arc and landing again.
Yeah.
So why can't the lunar lander, with its pressure dispersing the air, lift up and fall on? And I mean, it's not just that. What about the astronauts walking around on the moon? What about the beach buggy driving around? It should somehow get contaminated with all this dust on the...
Of course.
None of it. There's nothing. And yet they moaned that the particles is so fine that it gets everywhere inside their suits. That it's dangerous for them.
It
Now,
gets
how-
in their suits, but
Yeah.
it's airtight.
Those things popped up like a Stay Puft marshmallow.
But don't you find that odd, though?
Yeah.
And it's dangerous for them because it's so fine, the dust, but they're supposed to be airtight.
Yeah, exactly. They're airtight.
So the air can't escape, but dust is able to get in.
But dust can get in, yeah. So I thought air particles were smaller than dust particles, you know. But
Yeah, it's weird.
You know.
Well, even there, we have to look at that. We represent gases and shit in particles,
Mhm.
right? But are they really in particles?
Exactly, are they?
It's not. It's fluid.
Of course.
Yeah,
of course.
it's a model they present it as. It's just an explanation. If a model works, the explanation doesn't make that necessarily true.
Right.
It's just an explanation for something.
Of course.
no atmosphere on the moon. So as the dust gets blown away
Actually,
from the
there
lunar
is.
lander...
Actually, there is atmosphere on the moon, quote unquote, because the moon is in Earth's atmosphere. Didn't you hear?
Well, they used to say it was the pressure on the moon was 10 to the negative 14 torr. And then out in space, it's 10 to the negative 17, which is still quite a bit more. You
Yeah,
know,
now
that's an exponent, 14 to 17. That's an exponent, man.
Yeah, now it's 3 times 10 to the 15.
Oh, they changed it. Cool.
Yeah, they keep changing it all the time. And I mean, remember also that it's in Earth, the atmosphere is part of Earth's atmosphere. Now remember the moon.
Yeah, apparently the moon. Yeah, it's part of it.
So there is definitely atmosphere on the moon, even in your paradigm.
Mm-hmm.
He's going on like it's perfect vacuum. That's bullshit.
There's nothing to bring it back. That is going to be the cleanest place around.
Nothing to bring it back. So no gravity then. Well done. You heard that, guys.
Yeah.
So the dust goes and it just disperses and never comes back because there's nothing to bring it back.
Forms its own little planet.
Well, yeah, eventually, God. Jesus. It
Yeah,
might have
I've
its
got
own
one
little
now.
moon as well. Wow. What a cycle.
So this picture's small, but you'll see there's literally nothing displaced. There's no proof that a 9,000
right
pound...
One thing I would like MDD to have done is for their live streams show what they're showing on the screen. You know what I mean?
That would have been handy.
It could have just
easily
a little
saw that
copy or
projector or something.
Yeah. Did you guys? Yeah, the debate between Will Duffy and Nathan Thompson.
That's on the 22nd. Yeah.
22nd. Yeah, it's at 3 a.m. for me. So for you, it's a perfect time, Solve.
Ooh,
But the thing is, MDD put a post today. It might be the last flat Earth debate on MDD.
Really?
They're trying to move away from flat Earth stuff now.
Uh-huh.
And they are looking for more atheist mods.
And you know what? This is coinciding with that shit canning a bunch of that USAID money.
So
So that's happening at the same time. I'm like, So
I'm starting to think people shouldn't be supporting MDD that much anymore.
Yeah. No thanks. I'm not sub to them. I mean, I show some of the live stuff, as you know, but I'm not even sub to them. Not anymore.
So yeah, they're moving away from things that they said it's a neutral platform.
Of course.
Neutral my foot.
Of course it is.
And now they're moving to more atheist majority. Why? Huh.
Alex, it's blown away from it.
There would be a blast crater of some sort.
No, okay, so they specifically chose places that were more solid than not.
Sea of Tranquility.
Whoa. How will you know if something is more solid
Exactly. Yeah. They weren't there yet, so how they could figure it out? Oh, it's really solid. He's not.
I mean, let's say you just take a drone over the Mojave Desert or whatever, okay? And you're in a place that has a lot of red sand and rock. You're not going to know if there's red sand covering rock or if it's thick red sand or whatever. You have to physically go there and see. So how do they know before they went there to know what's hard rock and not?
Right.
God, boy.
So that's a bit fishy.
Is that what
they specifically chose specific landing areas that were on elevated positions, that were harder rock, had less regolith. But the point is, in this small image you've got here, it shows directly underneath. Once again, as the booster comes down, it's blasting all the regolith and dust away from it.
Regolith and dust, you mean regolith is dust. Didn't you know that? It's just very fine particles of dust, you guys claim, on the moon. I'm still waiting to see why we don't see part of the moon on Earth. I mean, the moon came from Thea, apparently, that hit into Earth and created and separated. So we're supposed to have the moon all over by us, moon rocks.
Yeah.
Yet we don't see any of this nonsense.
Well, they say there's a bunch in Antarctica, don't they?
Oh, the place that you can really just go and get it yourself and make sure.
Aye.
Don't you find it weird? Everything is in Antarctica that we are not able to just get. You need very special permission, or you got to have a lot of money, or you need to know someone who knows someone who knows someone. It's really odd. And it's always in Antarctica, the place that's just supposed to be down under, you could say.
So you can't see it in this picture because
It's
there's
funny,
no. Once
you
again, I'm
literally-
still in the middle of my
Sorry, go ahead,
sentence.
sorry.
It blasted all the stuff away from it with no disturbance in the atmosphere.
That's nonsense. It doesn't blow it away. It goes like this. What's up, Jeff? Good to see you.
Good. I was just going to say they do have the moon rocks on Earth because remember they're petrified with.
Well, yeah. Gosh.
Yeah, well, they did find petrified wood and claimed it to be moon rock. So yeah.
Yeah.
But I want to quickly do something. Let's see if I can find it quickly.
I guess they figured no one would examine it up close. Okay.
Yeah, they just thought people are just going to accept it.
Mm-hmm.
Take off. Okay, you guys can see this. There we go.
Yeah.
Huh, this is funny.
Oh, it's great.
Stage pushed. Mission arm is destined. Okay, I'm going to get the pro. 99, proceeded. 3, 2, 1. Ignition.
Okay, first I want to point out, you see the dust around it?
Yeah.
Is it going up and down? So it's going in all directions, correct? So it can fall back down onto the Lunar's
Stands, legs,
yeah.
whatever, pods.
And not to mention how fake this is anyway.
pads. So they're saying not pods, pads.
But I want to slow down quickly. Something. Watch that.
9, proceeded. 3,
2,
2,
1.
1.
Okay. Look at this explosion.
Yeah.
What the hell is this? Look at that. What the hell is all that? It looks like party streamers.
It does. It does.
Like those little party poppers you get.
Yeah.
You pull the string and all the woo flies out.
Exactly.
They didn't have the budget for the real
Right
thing.
away, here.
And look how it's carrying on going after it's
3,
lifted.
2, 1.
Look, you're going to see these things going all over the place. Carry on.
Ignition. Right away, Houston. Vector grid.
And that does look like stop motion, by the way.
Yeah.
Because, by the way, that's exactly how Star Wars at the time looked with stop motion.
See when it goes up, it slightly tilts to one side, then it straightens up again. And
Yeah, but you can see frame by frame, it has that little jitter.
Yeah, it's
Go back a bit. Just watch this.
Ignition.
Look at
Right away, Houston. Vector grid. Ag thought.
that. So fake.
Great, innit?
Pitch over. Roger, you have good thrust.
Not operating.
Okay, 30 seconds. 308, your number. Okay, coming through.
I want to ask something. Remember, they said they programmed it to automatically lift up.
Yeah.
That camera's following.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's tracking it.
It's not just panning up, and it zoomed in and out as well. Did you
Yeah.
notice?
Yeah. Yeah.
It even tried to put focus on. So that's definitely someone filming it, not just an automatic.
1,500 feet, and H dot looks good.
And looks good.
But yeah, I actually wanted to look for a specific one. LM landing, I think it's.
They left the blast. What? They left the blast cone on the moon.
let's first look at this one. This one is also good. Waiting for the advert to end.
Armstrong and Aldrin try to master the lunar module, knowing that it can be only so realistic on Earth.
I want to point out, look at how good the camera footage is here on Earth, guys.
Aye.
It looks quite clear. We can see everything, can we not?
Mm-hmm.
And then I also want to point out, does that look anything like the lunar monstrosity that they supposedly sent to the moon?
No,
No, man. The first time that they ever even flew that thing on Earth,
Negative.
the dude had to like eject from it like immediately.
Never got it right.
No, never got it right. Yeah, I was going to say they never got it right yet, as far as we know.
Look, they even made a fake moon surface for them.
That looks better, actually.
But yeah, this thing was so dangerous they couldn't get it right. They attempted it like 7 times or something.
Fall out of the sky. You really had to be on your toes.
Listen.
There was no safety net. If you tilted too far, you could just fall out of the sky.
Yeah, man.
Just fall out of the sky.
Look.
1968, Neil Armstrong prepares for his 21st flight in the Lunar Lander Trainer.
Ooh. Yep. Can Lunar Land Trainer? You can do this.
But this one suffers a rare malfunction.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it lurched, kind of tipped over.
Huh?
The malfunction was called Buzz Aldrin.
Yeah, look. Look at
Or whoever was driving. No, Neil Armstrong, sorry.
that was Neil Armstrong.
Yeah, Neil, sorry. Wow, see, he was the malfunction.
And that's all they had the whole time. Now, after all these issues they had, how is it that the first time they go to the moon, they are able to do it perfectly?
Perfectly, yeah. Perfectly. When they couldn't even do it, yeah.
Atheists do not believe in God. They don't believe in the miracles, but yet they believe in a moon landing.
That's a miracle in itself.
I mean, look at the environment they're meant to be in on the moon as well, where it's hostile as hell, and they've got to be so careful. But yet they're bouncing all over the place, falling on the ground with these suits that they can't rip, and they're falling all over the place. And you know what I mean? It's just stupid.
Look at this, guys. I'm convinced, though, this is just the dolly system that they got in that warehouse.
Yeah.
And they're following on the dolly with a film camera, looking at a model that they built. Remember, they built a whole bunch of different models, hyper-realistic models. And they got the dolly system on a track.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I do think that's how they faked this.
But even the horizon, it looks like 20 feet away.
Yeah, it doesn't really have the depth of field needed for the scale
No.
they're claiming. But you see, their excuse for that is, oh, but there's no atmosphere, so it looks different. Look at this. This looks like the camera's huge, and it's just zooming into something very close.
Aye.
Look at that.
What's different?
Whoa.
6% fuel, okay. 150 feet. There's defense quantity light. Okay. Low level. All right. And you can land over here. There's some dust, Al. 110.
What? You can land over there. There's the dust now. Did you hear that, right? I thought Craig said they want to land where there's no dust.
3 feet per second down.
Look, see, there's the dust coming. But now this is what I'm saying, guys. The aspect ratio doesn't fit. The aspect ratio of this ground doesn't fit.
Yeah. Name you, Jeff.
Yeah, it's Jeff.
The bottom sensor does not see product. The vibrator should shut off.
Must be one of his fellow workers or something.
Yeah.
There's the feeder.
I'm just bringing this off there. But yeah, the aspect ratio doesn't work, the scale. Because if the moon's so big, why does it look the same here where they're like very close to it compared to like when they're apparently very far?
It doesn't see, yeah, like them, man.
Look at that.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're just taking a camera and they're just going very close
Yeah.
to a model. And then they're blowing some air and dust on it when they get to that. Look, you're going to see now.
Okay, 7% fuel. Okay, you're still at 170 feet indicated. Starting down. Okay, you can move on forward. You're just
Look at this.
starting down. Okay.
You see? So they could just be blowing air and sand over the model. Get that? Because look at how large that jet stream of that air is as well. The scale doesn't work. Thank you, Flat Out Fudge, your $5. Really appreciate the super chat, man. Appreciate all the support. He says, remember, guys, they have their own so divine scientist and their almighty equations. Ooh, it is so true. Thank you very much for your super chat. I really appreciate it, man. You rock. Yeah, well, what does Neil deGrasse Tyson say? They go with the magic speed. I don't know. When it comes to coincidences, don't you guys find really odd that the belief system with the most coincidences is the globe?
Absolutely.
What are the chances that everything has so much perfect coincidences?
Yeah, like what is it? 400 times the size. The sun's 400 times the size of the moon, but 400 times as far away. You know, all kind of stuff. Come on.
Oh,
fit each other perfectly in the clips and all that kind of stuff. God, load of garbage.
Exactly. I find it, to me, that alone is a red flag. Because if you just got a coincidence over coincidence, anybody that's logical is going to think, man, there's just too much coincidences to be true.
Yeah.
It says 90 feet, 4 feet per second, 5 feet per second down.
And see what I'm pointing out. Do you see that this is supposedly the regolith moving, but do you see the ground transforming around it?
No.
No. Look,
Okay, down, looking great. 60 seconds. Okay, 50 feet down.
Nothing.
50 feet. We're in good shape, too. 3 feet per second.
It looks almost like, taking a sandblaster.
Mm-hmm.
You guys ever done sandblasting before?
Yeah. Of course, yeah.
It looks almost like they're taking a sandblast against the surface there, and it's giving that.
Of course.
You can ask him that, or I can ask him that.
40 feet. 3 feet per second. 30. 3 feet per second. Looking great. 20 feet. 10. 3 feet per second.
What? What's that?
Yeah, what is that? Like
a
track.
Back down. Two, stop. Boost. Pro. Auto.
Whoa. It's going through the legs. Wait. Look at this.
Two, stop.
This is layered on, guys. This isn't together.
Boost. Pro. Auto. We're on the surface. Okay, we made a good landing. Roger, enters. 413 plus 10,000. That was a beautiful one.
And I want to point out the angle on here is different than when he climbs out of the lunar module. This looks like they've just kind of plonked something against very close to the camera. Like if you're putting your eye towards something and it's got that offset. That's what it looks like to this. Oh, Roger's here. Sorry, Roger.
Roger.
How's it going?
Roger Dodger.
Man,
Rogy dodgy boy.
Woohoo! Thank you, Justin, for being number 37. Like, guys, hit the likes, share the show. Appreciate it. You guys are awesome.
I tried to stay up for PJ, but I couldn't.
That's all right. That's all right. Don't worry.
Wake me off. The land slopes, but other than that, we're in great shape. Yeah. Right on the landing.
Okay. And I want to point out that what's going on here looks like just overexposure of light, just so they can try and mask whatever they're trying to mask.
Yeah.
Looks like the sun's right there.
Yeah,
I just started ending film now. Roger, you on 24?
Come on.
Roger, you on 24?
No.
Huh?
Because there's a real reason why they're overexposed, especially with this dish here. Don't you think it's, again, coincidence?
Of course.
The dish is sitting there with the light and overexposed to do this. And I want to point out again, who filmed this if Armstrong was the first guy on the moon? I mean, you can literally see they had to move out of the LM to make this to film him climbing out.
Yeah. It's not like they had a selfie stick on there or something.
Thank you, Tony Wicker, for your 10 pounds. I really appreciate it, man. He says, and how do you slow down in a vacuum? Big problem, as you can't test it before you go to it to make sure it can be possible to begin with. Yeah, exactly. You can't, because like we say, with all demonstration, rockets don't work in a vacuum. So yeah, thank you very much for the super chat. Appreciate it, Tony. You rock. The issue they do face is, like we said, every time they attempted to work this LM on Earth, they crashed it. They never got it right. Yet they found it fine enough to use it in real life situation on the moon first time and get it perfect. After they failed, I think it was 7 times.
I remember it flipping over almost every time they launched the damn thing.
That's the thing. Now, when it comes to engineering, guys, and they know they're spending millions and billions of dollars or whatever, and people's lives are in danger, are they going to give the get-go to say, okay, guys, well, we've just crashed 7 of our very expensive LMs that we can't get to work, but we're going to give the go-ahead to do it anyway in real-life situation. Do you think they would do that?
No, they'd have to master it. You know what I mean? It'd have to be mastered.
Exactly.
I feel like I started working at Jeff's place now.
Yeah, I'll put it even softer again. I don't think he's realized he's not muted.
Yeah.
Not too far.
Because look, the camera's even moving. The camera's even moving. And look.
What's
whoa,
that?
whoa, whoa. Look,
What's
there's footprints.
Yeah, there is. What is that? What is that white marker to the right of the lens?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. That the little right there.
Yeah. What's that?
No idea. Bouncy. Bounce, come on. There we go, come on. Yay!
Tell me when I hit the bottom step. Hit the bottom step. I'm on it. Yep. Oh, okay.
Okay, but there's Apollo 14, so never mind.
Look, sounds like look.
Yeah, so it's not.
He's got a miniature over here.
We got.
Look at this DLR cube. Yes. Okay.
That one.
Give me a mark.
Get that put together.
And look at the exposure difference now.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Look at that.
That's a piece of art, man, dude. It really is.
That's beautiful.
It's a technological wonder. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, David Banner, for your £2. Says flat. So that's obviously a studio set fakery. I 100% agree.
Is there a lunar rover to go with that?
Thank you very much. rock.
disassembled.
I want to ask you something, Sol. On the top there, where it's supposed to have that the door, why is it so floppy on the LM?
He's muted. He don't know.
Yeah, you muted.
Oh, sorry. Right here? You mean in the very top?
Yeah. Remember they had a very floppy door for some odd reason.
Well, and another thing too is that hole's not big enough for a guy in his astronaut equipment to get through.
No.
Yep, the space just doesn't suit it.
Doesn't allow it. It's because the gold foil is what does it, man.
Mm-hmm.
It took me a long time, man.
It's like claiming you can stick your head through a mason jar.
No larger than a gopher hole, right?
Yeah.
Didn't the Mythbusters try to debunk this kind of overexposure thing, saying that was natural because of the sun and all that? Mythbusters, and they ended up lying about it. They know what it was is they were trying to replicate something, and what they didn't take themselves out of the equation because he had a white shirt on at the time, where it could have been reflecting light as well. So I'm not that good.
15.
Okay, the abort stage is set. Gas and engine is armed. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, I want to ask you again. I thought there's no air.
In space, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how do they launch rockets to start with and get them to fly through there? That's my question.
Mm-hmm.
Lift.
There's no physics to it, man.
And lift off. Roger ignition.
Okay, now I'm gonna look for Neil Armstrong. Neil.
Hey, Flash, we can tell this is your passion right here. The moon landing.
The moon.
You know, a funny thing
Fly
happened.
me. I heard. Fly me to the moon.
Yeah, man.
Fly me to the moon. Okay, let's see.
Fly me to the moon and let me dance among the stars.
It was a good song, though. I enjoyed it.
And,
Still a classic.
What's the other one? Would you like to swing on a star? Carry moonbeams. So many songs about space, isn't there?
Now the best is Man on the Moon.
Well, that one.
Can you hear him calling you? Okay.
Could you believe they put him on though?
Yeah, that they put a
but-
man on the moon.
I know that song.
Oh yeah, brilliant song.
Per man, 1 diathlete per man time.
Almost 250,000 miles.
Oh, I thought this was the original. Nah, let's go back. I'm sorry. I want to get where he's actually.
I mean, even that line was straight out of Hollywood, isn't it? It's one small step for man.
Houston, this is Neil, radio check. Neil, this is Houston, loud and clear. Break, Buzz, this is Houston. And we're getting a picture on the TV.
Yay!
Okay.
Such a great picture.
There's that foot coming down.
There he is. There's a foot coming down the steps.
So scary.
Okay, Neil, we can see you coming down the ladder now.
I mean, come on, be honest. You can have someone in a closet walking down a ladder, and you'd think it's the same thing.
It's so sketch, dude. It really is. Like,
pretty much. So.
Yeah.
They really had us, man.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I just checked. Getting back up to that first step. It's that isn't collapsed too far, but it's adequate to get back up.
Is it?
Roger, we copy. Pretty good little jump.
So there's a foot on the moon, stepping down on the moon.
And I want to point out he's also invisible.
Yeah, he's also transparent, see-through.
Because remember how they did video footage video effects those days to have layered. They actually had panes of glass that they did painting on. And yeah, the background there was painted. That's why it was see-through. Fake, guys.
You could almost see through that shadow to a point. Can't
Science deniers.
I mean,
If he's testing that first step, he must be stepping down on the moon at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, the moon's literally showing through his body. Okay.
Yeah.
He's a ghost.
Ghost. Yeah.
That's what the moon does to you guys. It makes you into a ghost.
Again,
It makes you transparent.
again, that horizon is just like 20 feet away, 10 foot away.
Symmetric curve of the moon, dude. That's what it is.
Yeah, this is a ground control to Buzz. How's the underwear situation? Yeah, didn't you hear they never changed their diaper for 3 days?
Oh,
I mean, come on. Ugh.
No way, man. I mean,
Buzz, this is Houston, F2. I'm at the foot of the ladder. The lamb footpads are only ingrained as you get close to it. It's almost like a powder.
Almost like a powder?
Ground mass is very fine.
Boy, look at those pictures. Wow.
What's so great about that?
I don't see it.
And I want to tell you guys as well, look how concentrated the light is here. Almost like it's got a light from the top, you know, like a studio light showing towards the ground. Because
Yeah,
it's very, very local. It's very, very local, that light. Hey, Heron, good to see you. I tried to go on Heron's
me too. I'm just saying that to
live
her.
earlier, but nothing was working.
See, me too. I was just saying that to her in chat. I came into your live earlier, but clicked it. It was just buffering. There was nothing there. It was
Yeah,
blank.
I wasn't doing anything.
That was there. It just said one person viewing. And
Me
that's
as
what-
well. And I
Yeah.
saw your comment there, and then I left
Oh,
3
did you?
comments.
Hey, you got a link for it?
Going on.
Is there
No,
a
there's
link?
nothing showing, so it's not going to help.
Okay.
It's a little shadowy, but
someone
he said he expected that.
And I also want to point out, guys, how many millions of dollars did they use for this?
Oh,
God.
They're not even just the line Armstrong on the moon to center.
It's not even. It's not even sent. I just said, wow.
You know what I mean? It's like you spend millions and millions of dollars to show some looks like a guy in a closet somewhere with the local light on the floor, and they're right on their Armstrong on the moon, and it's not even centered.
It's not at all.
I don't think Stanley helped with this one. He'd have done better, to be honest.
No, they used up all their funds for the faking of it going to the moon.
Oh, okay.
So they ran out of budget here.
That in the shadow of the lunar module. Armstrong is on the moon.
Yeah,
Neil
man, step off the lamb
Armstrong,
now.
38-year-old American, standing on the surface of the moon.
And that's just something I want to point out. They were very adamant to say he's a 38-year-old American. Specifically, it has to be American.
Huh.
There's the politics behind it.
It's because we're the best in the world, man.
Yeah.
That's what they tell us.
Americans, you Americans do the Americans good. Nobody does America like America.
How come we don't have any film of Russia trying to land on the moon? I know they tried, right? A couple of times. I never saw any footage from it. So Russia
Well,
did.
we were told that they did.
Yeah.
But did they really? I mean, I think they gave up on it early on. You know, realized that was just a debacle, but they had to play along with the game. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
On this July 20th, 1969.
That's one small step for man.
I want to also point out, Neil Armstrong, you're a bit late, man. You've already walked on the moon. Now you're saying one stall. He's like, oh, I got script. I got to quickly say my line.
Yeah, same thing every time he goes.
Mm-hmm.
One giant leap for mankind.
I think that was Neil's quote. I didn't understand it.
No, one.
I didn't understand. Thank you, Royd, for your $2. He says, America, foam finger #1, baby.
Yay.
Do you still get those foam fingers?
Yes.
Yeah. Go to a baseball game, football game, they sell them. Like good times. You can get them at Spencer's too. Yeah.
Thank you for the super chat, Royd. You rock, man.
One small step for man, but I didn't get the second phrase.
Powdered charcoal to the sandy particles.
Okay.
Second phrase. Come on. It was straight out of Hollywood. He knew the second phrase.
Remember that it was very scripted.
Of course.
Alex Stein looks really confident here. He does. Look at him. Yeah, I got you, Craig.
Yeah, well, he has a reason to be. Craig hasn't really presented anything other than hitting himself over the forehead with the oven mitt because he said it's logical.
In what world is that logical? I don't know.
Yeah, so quite crazy.
To get it back because the atmosphere does not exist on the moon, Alex.
Well, then why was that go-kart causing all of it to just fly all around?
It didn't fly all around. If you'd listened to my intro, let me go.
I listened to it. I'm just saying.
Clearly not, Alex.
You
Maybe,
said that
maybe
they were. On a Jeep. That was basically a Jeep.
Right,
How
so
did they even
I want
get
you
it
to
there
look
in the
at
first place?
this diagram on the right. Yeah. Okay, the diagram on the right. It shows two things. The two green lines. They are what you would expect on if there was dust particles on Earth. That is what physics says. The parabolic trajectory.
What physics says. I love that. I always say what physics says.
Yeah.
Well, I like Nathan's. The physics doesn't have lips. It doesn't. It's not cognitive. It can't talk. It doesn't have an opinion. It just is physics. But it says a lot of shit. Sorry.
Let's see if we can get some of that Lunar.
Are you gonna get the Jeep out, drive it around?
Yeah. The favorite one they love doing.
Cool. This is where you'll see the perfect parabolic arc.
This is in 1080p. Let's get to 4K. Just for the globies.
Do you know what I mean? That came folded up.
That max acceleration?
You can see. Now remember, this is now supposed to be 60 frames a second, correct?
You can see that that's a weight.
Why does it seem very slow, even at 60 frames a second?
Yeah, very weighty.
Look how small it really is. It's like a go-kart almost.
That's what I'm saying. It looks like an RC car to me.
It is.
That they've slowed down and then they've changed it to 60 frames a second.
Why makes it look weighty.
Yeah. Because even the suspension and how everything moves on it is very animatronics-like.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that.
Man, you are really bouncing. Is he on the ground at all? That's 10 kilometers.
And
there's my little model back there.
Yeah, even that. You see what I'm saying? Nothing. The scale just doesn't look right.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah. That's just so much like a It just looks like a model there with a remote control car going towards it.
Is the limb like a mile away or something?
He's got about 2 wheels on the ground.
Look at that. Is the limb? Is the LM and the Rover the same size? Because they're kind of close to
the big rooster tail out of all 4 wheels.
Not that far away from each other.
Not that far apart at the minute, by the looks of it, anyway.
That's why I asked if it was a mile away.
Yeah. Obviously, you don't need the sound, but I mean,
you can't really make out perspective with this at all.
Like I say, the horizon looks
really
like
odd about.
You can just imagine a guy's head popping over the top of the background now, looking over the horizon. You know, like a guy looking over the top. Like, there it is.
Now look at those dust trails, Craig. You see it goes and it lands again. Notice he just drove. Remember, he drove and turned there. Okay, there at this LM. Why didn't that dust go and fall on the stands?
So, what is 1/6 gravity calculated? How much weight would it have?
1/6 of its weight.
1/6.
Yeah. So, I mean, how do you calculate that? That's what I'm trying to nail down.
By using Apollo and then calculator.
Yeah. What would that look like in real life? Oh.
It doesn't happen in real life. And again, I'm going to also point out, you see here, guys, where my mouse is.
Yeah.
No
Do
marks.
you know that looks very eerily similar to a camera that's very low to something. Let me see if I can make a point quickly.
Almost like it's foreshortened to a
like
point.
that.
Yeah, like it's
Like
yeah,
that.
like it's close to the surface of something. Yeah.
There we go. See, my motorbike's driving on my keyboard surface.
Oh, so it is.
See, that's what it's showing. That's what it's showing.
I did some really cool pictures like that when I was just a kid. I got my first camera.
Nice.
And I remember I set up a dinosaur with these rocks and shit all in the foreground. Then I had my friend go way off in the distance, and I lined it up so it looked like he was running from this dinosaur.
I got it. Yeah, nice.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the Pringle can they use at Bolivia salt flats, and all the kids walked into it.
Yeah. Oh, please.
But yeah, it's amazing. You can see it's based on short force perspective. This. Look at it. Look how the arms and everything looks like it's just. I mean, he's not really turning, and the wheels are turning.
Is he actually moving at all, or is it just?
Look when he comes closer. Look how the wheels are turning, and look at his arms. Not really doing anything.
No, he's just sitting there stiff as a board.
His feet aren't even going like this. The pedals. The pedals aren't. Nothing's moving.
It's like a mannequin or a doll or something on there. They probably took a G.I. Joe and dressed it up in a spacesuit and shit. That's all. You know, like a little.
So, are you saying this
doesn't look like that? Just looks like a little small Lego car like that.
Yeah, a miniature. That's what I was going to say. It's a miniature. Yeah.
Definitely.
That's a flashlight. Yeah.
Damaged tape part. Ooh. Look.
Any movement?
Look at him again.
No, there's no movement.
No, there's nothing.
Nothing. It's a static guy. And why do they have so much damaged tapes?
Of course.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, it's just.
There's a little movement in the wrist there, I think, but
there's nothing going on there.
But was that because of the bump of the surface? That's the thing.
Yeah. Look at still the scale, the limb. It still looks like crap. Yeah.
You think he took his hand off the steering wheel? Yeah, we're all good.
Well, that looks a little better there. Yeah. Like the size to the.
Nothing of this looks real. Look at this.
Why didn't he go any further than the limb?
There's not even flinching going on.
Nah. See, the only. Nah.
Look, there's nothing with the feet.
No, it's too stiff. The only movement I see is when it goes over surface and it just jiggles a bit. You know what I mean? That's it.
Wouldn't he turn his head a little bit, maybe, to see?
This is upscaled.
Nothing.
Right. This is upscaled.
It's upscaled, yeah. Oh, and by the way, look at this front wheel, how it's falling down exactly like it would on Earth, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Just want to point out. Okay? Look here.
Oh, yeah.
Look at, because it's hitting around there and it's falling.
Falling down, yeah.
Look. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pouring down, literally pouring down. Where's the not gravity now?
Right.
Well, you know,
Look at
gravity.
egg timer, man. Look at egg timer.
There's only so much you can fake, guys.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Binary, his arms flapped about a little bit. You know what I mean? That's it. But it wasn't movement. It was flapping. Well, of course it was movement, but not made by him. Or it.
So why did the satellite dish have like this gold, like the limb? I'm just wondering. It's more receptive for transmission or something. They wrapped it up in gold.
No,
Yeah,
it's
just the same as the gold lamp.
No, it's because they're pimping. Yeah.
Pimping. Pimp my right.
A little bit of bling bling, yeah.
Yeah. So I just thought I would show that specific one because that's the one that Craig likes to show everybody. Yeah, it's fake, Craig. Very fake.
You take away his childhood, dude. Don't do that.
Of the dust particles would be on Earth. The other two lines are the trajectory if you did the calculations with a gravity of what you would expect on Earth. Every dust particle, if you look on the one on the left, it shows where the dust every single dust particle follows a parabolic trajectory that showed it was in less gravity. But there's one more thing we need to look at is that they all follow that trajectory without any...
That is also true. There is no imprint. It's an RC car. Yeah, because this... But their claim is there's not really weight, so it can't really give an imprint. But the astronauts can give imprints. And they are much lighter than the Lunar Rover.
Oh, right.
The Lunar bugger. Bugger.
The bugger. Oh, you make me right now. Yeah.
Pimp my Rover.
I'm just reading that.
Let's see if there's any footage. Yeah, taking the
Pimp my Rover.
Lunar Rover. Let's see if there's any footage for that.
Have you seen the new? Yeah. Have you seen a new Rover they got? The one that Jeremy Clarkson took for a drive. It looks like a giant. I don't know.
Pimp my Rover. Yeah. Get an exhibit, come and sort it all out. You know what I mean? For an astronaut.
I think the Rover they have now is like bigger than the actual limb. The new one. It's just huge.
Mm-hmm.
How are they going to get that there?
I want to see if I can see any footage of them showing how they actually take it out. If anybody has footage for it. Well, I do love this short, though. This is still one of the classics.
Oh, yeah.
Has nobody been to the moon in such a long time?
That's not an 8-year-old's question. It's my question. I want to know what I think I know. Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened. And if it didn't happen, it's nice to know why it didn't happen. So in the future, if we want to keep doing something, we need to know why something stopped in the past that we wanted to keep it going.
That didn't make no sense whatsoever.
No.
It made perfect sense.
Sure did.
Okay.
The sense it made was he knows that they're lying and they have to keep lying to keep it going. They know they didn't go and he knows why they still didn't go. He wished he knew why.
Absolutely. If they're trying to, if people try and say, he was just saying around about the way he actually did go, then it makes no sense. But it makes perfect sense if he didn't go. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because his conscience is eating him up, and that's why he's now senile, as they put it.
Of course.
Well, he drinks about probably a fifth a day, doesn't he? I think.
Way more.
But yeah, it's sad.
You need Jeff's talking. You need to turn them up flats.
Wait. Let's see. I don't know if he's talking to us or it's still.
I think he said
I am.
Way more.
Hey Jeff, what's up?
Hey,
There we go.
Sorry, I was hot miking earlier. That was my fault. I forgot to mute myself.
No stress, man. But yeah. So Craig's kind of suffering.
Yeah, absolutely.
Disturbance going out or coming back. They are being kicked up in a very specific way and coming straight back down with no turbulence, no disturbance, nothing being swirled around like you would see if you did it on Earth. If you watch a dirt bike on Earth kicking up dirt, it goes round the wheel.
Unless you're
flies
in a
up,
building.
just like clouds. But on
Yeah,
air,
we do
all
the
the
exact
dust
same way.
did exactly this. It went woo. Exactly.
Has anybody got any
Like in a
footage?
disturb it, and in a place with less
Has anybody got
gravity that
any
made it do
footage
it.
where they actually take the Lunar Rover out of the LM?
I've never seen it.
Never seen it.
Seems like
I found it. Ha ha.
You found one? Huh.
Yeah.
Serious?
Apollo 15.
Yeah. Oh, back pain.
There we go.
Yeah, they supposedly took it out of that storage container.
Yeah,
on the
they're
side.
on the side.
That little. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But
it
I
was folded up. It was folded up. See,
Oh, okay, of course. Like them folding bicycles you get, but
right.
Yeah.
Or more like a lawn
Science.
chair you get out. Yeah.
Damn
Yes,
science
see?
deniers.
Look at that. See?
Whoop. Wow.
I want to know why it popped out so quickly.
Yeah, that was cut?
Look.
Yeah, it was.
That's
it's
cut.
cut.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
folded. There it is.
I'm going to slow it down because something
Totally not
doesn't.
inflatable.
Of course, that's cut.
This is as real as Dave McKeegan's 24-hour time lapse.
Yeah.
So, look at
Why does the lighting look so bad here? I mean, like there's no. Oh yeah, I've always wanted to know
It's dark
when
around
they
the moon,
land.
but, you know.
Yeah,
Is it
why don't they
space?
tell you what phase the moon's in when they land on it? Just asking.
They landed on a
Is it
full moon, man. Otherwise, they're going to miss the ground.
Oh hell.
This is bullshit. Look at this.
Look at that.
Oh, come the fuck on.
That
One of
doesn't
them
look.
wheels popped out like that.
Whoa,
That
whoa,
was
whoa.
stupid.
That doesn't look anything like the Rover they're driving.
Well, they haven't unfolded it all the way, I guess, yet.
Yeah.
Why did the wheels pop out like balloons? That was stupid.
Yeah.
Crank it down. There he goes.
Why you need to crank it down if there's no gravity, man?
Yeah, what's with the cranky?
Why don't you
Yeah,
just
you
pick
could
it
just
up?
lift it up. Yeah, you could just pick it up.
Yeah. I can
Like
lift it up.
Superman.
What's with the cranky? Well.
Let's see what is the Lunar Rover's.
I'm not an astronaut. What would I know? You know.
Yeah, the lighting's starting to change. You can start seeing the gold foil from this side. So
The Lunar Rover's weight was 209 kilograms when unloaded. When carrying 2 astronauts, the equipment it weighed 1,000. Okay, so 209 kilograms on the moon.
that's not too much.
Right. No. I'm sure I could lift it.
460 pounds.
Yeah, I think it's made out of aluminum.
It's quite heavy, but I don't know why. Is that on Earth's surface? Wait, maybe that's.
I got a question. I got a question for you, right quick. Does anybody remember?
Okay, I got it now. It's 210 kilograms on Earth. On the moon, it's only 77 pounds when empty. When it's fully done, it's 160 pounds. Easily being able to pick it up with his hands.
Absolutely. 100%.
And why is it bouncing around like that if it weighs 77 pounds?
Yeah.
On the moon.
So, in other words, the fact that they're literally showing he's got a pulley system for it shows it's faked. It's not on the moon because it would be light enough to literally pick it up and just take it out of his hands. But they had to charge money and design a pulley system to put it in and out.
Yeah.
Wonder how much
Does anybody remember they had a campaign where if you recycle aluminum, you would actually help with the moon program or something? They were like making this stuff out of recycled aluminum cans. You ever heard that before?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was just wondering if all this stuff is lighter than it is. Even the limb itself can't weigh that much, can it?
Yeah. And I want to point out, I mean, even if it's fully loaded, it's only 73 kilograms, okay?
Yeah.
It weighs the same as I do. Fully loaded. I'm sure someone's able to pick me
What, you're
up.
73 kilograms?
Yeah.
How tall are you?
I'm 169 centimeters.
Oh, right. Yeah, I'm 185,
I'm
100 kilograms.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm kind of big fella.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Thank you.
Yeah, but I got muscle. That's why I weigh so much.
Yeah, muscle weight more than the fat.
Mm-hmm.
So I weigh 150 pounds. So what is that in kilograms?
Well, I don't know.
Why you don't use kilograms like normal people?
You're a bit less than me. I think you're about 70 kilograms.
Yeah, just calculate it to the kilograms.
It's 68 kilograms.
Jesus, you're like a feather.
Yeah.
Am I?
Right.
Yeah, you're a feather, man.
I'm
PJ,
5'10".
PJ, you?
I do probably about kilograms.
Yeah.
106 for me.
Kilograms?
I would
Yes,
say
go,
I'm
go.
about,
That's
I
not a
would
weight,
say-
my man.
I would say I'm about
Guys,
100.
you have to work out.
I'd say I'm about 100. Let me just check. Hold on.
But I used to be 129.
Yeah, you've lost a lot.
Yeah.
That's
You can
over
thank
here.
the carnivore diet for that. But you see,
I'm
your
a
beard,
hundred-
your
I'm a-
beard
I'm a-
alone, your beard
I'm a-
alone weighs 20 pounds, man.
I'm actually 107 kilo.
Okay, that's good. How tall
How
are
many
you?
stones is that, PJ?
I'm
How many
5. I'm
stones
5.
is that?
I'm 17. It was 17 stone.
Yeah,
So I'm probably a little bit more. I'm 17 and a half stone. So I'm probably a little bit more than 107.
Yeah, you're a tall
I'm
fella.
5'11". I'm overweight at the minute. I'm usually about 14 and a half stone at my fighting weight, but I'm about 3 stone overweight at the minute.
How much is a stone, for fuck's sake? Stones are different.
14 pound. 14 pound. And a stone.
He's a
I don't
lightweight.
get stones.
So I'm 12.8 stone,
Hmm.
which is 180
I'm
pounds.
17.
Yeah, you look about 12 stone to me, definitely.
Tell me kilograms. I don't recognize pounds.
9/100ths of a ton.
But I think we can all agree.
Imperial ton.
But I think
I'm 81,646,626.6 milligrams.
That's crazy.
So, milligram is just multiplied by 1,000. You have kilograms.
I'm
Sorry, milligram, no,
408,233 carat.
But I mean,
Here's a measurement called a slug. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah, I had a slug.
Slug?
Yeah.
5.59 slug.
7.3 slugs.
2,880 ounces. Or here, grain. Just
From
like
today,
a
you're a
bullet.
slugger.
If I were a bullet, I'd be 1,260,000 grain.
Grain,
Wow.
nice.
How much
But I
gunpowder would it take?
But I think we can all agree that based on a standpoint of space that they needed for the LM, money, just all out needing it to be as light as possible, needing to have as much space as possible, spending the least amount of money, they wouldn't put a rigged system in there for a pulley to be able to put the thing in and out if they could literally lift it up themselves.
Yeah, only 77 pounds or whatever.
Yeah, 35 kilograms when it's empty.
Two people can pick
it's
that
like,
up easy.
it's like literally holding a shopping bag of groceries.
Pretty much. One in each hand, yeah.
Yeah, it's insane. And they found it needing to take up space, spend money, and build a. I find that really stupid. I know why that is, though. It's because they're in a studio. They're not on the moon.
Well, yeah.
Somewhere in Nevada, New Mexico.
Like the final experiment?
Well, we're going to leave the studio now, guys. Turn off the green screen.
And turn off the green screen. We're about to leave the studio. Duh! And they never heard from Lisbeth again.
Nope.
True.
Yeah, we all know why she went, though.
Yeah, just the eye candy, man. That was it. They had to have something that looked worth watching. Duffy isn't worth watching.
No.
And Jared, I don't know.
No, he's not worth watching, but he's worth keeping your eye on him.
You better.
Expect in a place that has 1/6 the gravity on Earth. So if this was faked, how did they do it? Because they would have had to do it on a soundstage. They had to remove the air and change the gravity in the soundstage.
Change the gravity. What you talking about?
What gravity?
Yeah, you guys talking about these gravitational predictions. I want to see them. I want to see the mathematics in your gravitational predictions, Craig, especially with the gases. That's what I want to see. You say, it just does as predicted, just like we thought it would. Yeah, right. Okay, let's see where you thought you would.
But he's so dumb as well. If you want to change the way things look like they're falling slow faster, you just change the frame rate on your camera.
Yeah. I thought McToon was the numbers guy. I didn't think Craig was that smart.
You literally just change the frame rate on your camera like they did.
That's not how they'd have to do it. But first of all,
why not?
Because you can actually watch clips of
it.
Yeah,
why not though? I mean, that's not how I do it. Why not?
Because they can change the speed of the video and make it look a certain
changing
way.
the speed of the video doesn't change the fact that there's no atmosphere and it behaves in a gravitational acceleration.
Yes, it does, Craig. It gives a different look. You know, when, like, if you change the speed of someone. Am I literally bouncing around on the moon? No, that's me going slower. Now, you can literally, I've seen someone do this as well, where they take a camera and they set it to 60 frames a second. They record it in real time, then they slow it down and put it to 30 frames a second, and it makes it look like quite seamless slow motion.
I got you. Yeah. That's easy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still trying to get his description of physics and why it has to be 1/6 gravity.
But that's the thing, because they say it has to be 1/6 gravity.
Because it's based on its mass. Like they would know anything about that shit.
That's insane. But I mean, like I said, we just saw where the regolith, well, I'm going to call it cement powder, was falling exactly like it would on Earth, be in the front of the wheel.
Yeah, it was. Dropping.
Later, guys.
Later, buddy.
I think it's very funny though. You want to argue about dust, and you see that obviously.
I want to argue about physics,
no,
Alex.
I know, but well, then why isn't there any dust on the lunar lander? That's physics.
Guys, did I not just explain?
A 9,000-pound rocket would displace.
Oh my word, Craig!
Of emits, yeah.
Again, he thinks saying "nah" is somehow him explaining. He didn't explain anything. He just says "nah." He says it just goes in all directions.
I'm looking at him right now, Craig. If I had to picture Nero right before Rome was burning, it would look like him.
This should have been the thumbnail, actually. Look at that. It's like, look at that ass. He's like, look at that ass. And he's like, ooh, what's this? Is that a booger I missed?
Yeah, you know you want to do it. Do it. That's why he's got the other
More dust than a fake Jeep, dude. And that's the sad reality that you can't admit
Is there some kind of issue you have converting short-term to long-term memory? Because I just explained that to you.
No, I'm saying that when these astronauts take a step on the moon, they leave a footprint, right?
A footprint, yes.
Yeah.
Not,
so this stuff can be displaced, and it would literally leave a footprint.
Mean, a footprint isn't displaced; it's compression.
Well, what?
What? A footprint isn't displaced.
Wow. What?
And you need compression to displace things, right?
Compression is literally displacement.
Of course it is.
I was just gonna say, no shit. You moved. It went from one place to another.
Displacement.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't believe in relative density or disequilibrium at all. It's all gravity.
Oh my word!
Wow.
I like his lapel right there with his handkerchief. Alex did a good job with it.
This is as bad as thinking that Moses and that were Christians from the Andrew Wilson one.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, when you affect the surface, you're going to have dirt around. And if you
Yeah,
look
and
at
the
the
dirt
lunar
is around,
landers,
it's still there,
there's
but it's
no
moved
dirt
away.
on them. There's none. Yet that car,
Alex,
it looked
once
like
ag-
they
once
were,
again-
had a damn party in the back. Looked like exhaust or so much dirt. And somehow this 9,000-pound rocket engine was able to land without even displacing so much as leaving even a crater underneath it.
There was no crater because it landed on hard rock.
All the while, it literally showed in the footage dust, regular particles flying all over the place.
It was blowing around there. It wouldn't burn it or nothing, right? No oxygen, right?
David Banner, please, this is torture. Why do you think I've been kind of stopping all the time he talks to look at some footage? Because that's more exciting.
I was
But I mean,
surprised
we
Flash,
Huh?
you've kept your sanity all this time debating him, dude. I'm serious.
Yeah. But I mean, we have to try and hear their arguments, because it does get interesting when they have the Q&A, though. I don't know if you guys heard the Q&A questions.
Yeah,
I haven't even watched
it. I don't remember.
And again, all of the dust was moved away. Alex, these are things I've just explained.
Guys,
to you.
let's
It's
get
like
to 100
this goes-
likes. I'm sure we can get there. We got 58 likes. Please, 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 you guys rock.
Roger, you were there, so you must remember the question. I'm sure you were there, weren't you?
No.
So
Sorry.
you weren't there. I thought you were there.
Nope. I wasn't.
Thing in one side.
No,
and
I
the
hear you.
other.
It's just
right,
false.
I understand
It's
that
just false.
you don't understand the physics and how it
No,
works.
I don't need to understand physics. It's funny
Well,
'cause you
that's
wanna
the
try to be
problem.
cute.
I don't need to understand physics.
You
I was
don't.
talking about one of the greatest.
No, you don't need to understand physics when he's literally talking about dust move. Why no dust land on foot?
Just common sense. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to get it.
From what I remember, the dust.
Some argument.
The dust is so fine; it would be on everything.
But yeah, you don't need to understand physics to understand if something displaces, it should land on something. It's so squeaky clean. They forgot to literally put dust on the equipment before filming, Greg. That's the issue. Somebody didn't do their job.
Physics and engineering feats that humanity has
It's so
ever
funny.
done. Ladies.
Here's what it does. You can turn a single selfie.
Ooh.
And I want to point out, there's no feats in engineering, as he's putting it, because it was faked.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't need to understand physics. That's the argument that I've got.
No, because what I try to do is I try to make the argument for a simple person that you don't have to have a physics degree to understand that a 9,000-pound rocket would cause dirt to move. Okay?
Well, that's
So
the
you don't need
problem.
to-
Exactly. Physics says that a 9,000-pound rocket would cause regolith to move around, Craig. I'm sure a 9,000-pound rocket even crumbles some rock. Ever
Yeah.
thought of that, Craig?
Well, look at all that shit that shoots up around when they blast the damn thing off.
Mm-hmm. So he's talking. I mean, you even see the tinfoil come off of, fly all around when they blast off.
Well, there's got to be like air pressure on the moon then, if they can actually move stuff around, right?
Like the flag waved all over the place.
Yes, and it was literally like spontaneously. It was instantly getting hit by that gas that they said is not there.
Exactly.
Right.
I found some footage you might want to watch later. I'm gonna put it in the private chat.
Awesome.
It looks more real than this stuff.
Well, that's actually
Star Wars looked better than that.
Well,
oh, Rammstein. Oh man, I would love
Yeah.
to watch it, but I can't. Unfortunately.
I know. Yeah, just take a look at their no helmets. They're up there singing. The flag's waving around.
Yeah, Rammstein.
Oh, look at the Apollo patch. Look at that. Looks perfect, doesn't it? Oh, what? Who's in the back? Is there a cameraman in there? In the light? Yeah. Smile.
Yeah.
I think they know, dude. They always drop hints.
Of course.
It's Hollywood, man. That's what it is. Yeah. He's playing the guitar in orbit.
Crooked nose.
Yeah, you know how many guitars and musical instruments they must have up there with them?
Crooked nose. Smile. You are in a hidden chamber.
I think it's $96,000 a pound. That was the last cost I could find on launching things into space, and they're just throwing up gorilla suits and guitars and tubas and whatever the fuck else. They got enough instruments up there now for a band, I think. Chase each other around in a gorilla suit. I mean, really, at $96,000 a pound, let's just go ahead and take a damn gorilla suit up there so we can. Why?
Yeah, but that's also what I don't get. Every time they're always moaning about, saving space and how much it costs per gram to send something because they need to save weight. Yet they are able to get a guitar up there, they get a gorilla suit, they get Christmas hats, they get all these other things that will cost millions of dollars just to get up there for no reason.
Listen, when they were doing the Apollo thing, man, I remember there was, right before the launch and everything, like a day or two before it, they were reporting on the health status of each of the astronauts, down to the gram of how much eggs and bacon or whatever they'd eaten that day. And of course, Tang instant breakfast drink, you had to have that too. And, really their heart rate and make sure they're in top-notch condition to go. And then you zoom up into the future and you're sending old fat-ass William Shatner up there, with his Depends diapers and shit, high blood pressure and everything else that goes wrong with old people. And no problem. We don't care. You don't have to worry about health no more. In fact, they started this thing. It was a Presidential Physical Fitness Award.
Mm-hmm.
And this was in the school, and you had to be able to do like so many jumping jacks and run so far in a certain amount of time and this, that, and the other. And you got this little patch because we were getting America ready for the future, for space travel.
Oh, yeah.
And now look at them, man. They look like little Oompa Loompas ready to go off with the 101st Airborne and shit when they get off the school bus. Big old backpack, bunch of little fat, chubby kids all over the place. It's like, what? Where's your physical fitness thing at now?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, do you remember the impact that the Blue Origin, when it landed with Shatner in it, how hard that hit? You think he would, boom. Yeah.
No, that's not feasible. They just, come on. That was the first thing I pointed out with that stupid movie. What's that one with Bruce Willis where they fly up there and they land on an asteroid and then they just
Armageddon.
Yeah, Armageddon. And these guys, here's a bunch of unhealthy, fucked up guys, and they're just going to go ahead. Here you go up into space now, because you know how to drill holes. What?
I know.
And then they go crash in different spots. They crash at different spots going these phenomenal speeds and shit. But they're right there close enough, to each other where it's the dumbest thing I ever saw.
Well, they're using satellites to track them now, so it's a lot easier to find the landing. Yeah.
My wife, if she heard me, I bet she heard me. She came home because the roads are bad. I bet she just heard me. She's going to be mad at me now because that's like her favorite movie, Armageddon. That's like one of her favorite
movies. It was a good movie. I enjoyed the movie, but yeah, to be honest, it is more realistic than what Apollo was. Heck, even Gravity from Sandra Bullock.
Oh, that was good. I have that.
Yeah.
Somewhere around here.
Check out Neil's face on here. I mean, Craig's face. He looks very triggered. How dare you go question my belief system?
No doubt, right?
Right. It looks like the Corin face. The Corin face they give when they get all angry.
His hands look like a child hand, He never worked as an honest man, to be honest. You can
Well,
see
would
it.
that other guy ask him? I forget the guy's name that was about the secular humanism, and he asked him about the X-Men and Wolverine, and that idiot's like, "Well, in another universe, it could be absolutely possible." And I'm like, "Oh my god, what part of universe?
Do you not understand? Yeah.
How does multiple universe? How does that not trigger that doesn't make sense?"
Yeah.
Don't they call it a multiverse now? That's what they try to term it as. It's the multiverse.
Covered in shit. It's all based off somebody's
We would understand.
mushroom belief, you know? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That, Alex.
No, you
People
don't.
that
No,
pass
you don't.
physics in
See,
high
that's-
school would understand that,
see,
Alex.
the
My
smug-
11-year-old
the
daughter
smug-
would understand that, Alex.
The smug and arrogance that you have, as if that you would have to know
This isn't
everything
smug
about
arrogance.
physics,
This is
physics
factual.
to understand that
This is
it doesn't
factual
make
stuff.
sense
Right.
that a rover.
Why is he over talking him? He's trying to make a statement and he's over talking him.
Causes all this dirt to go everywhere, but a
So,
9,000-pound rocket
let me explain to you.
engine
That is
doesn't.
called an
He's
argument
really weak
from
man, you know,
fragility. He said,
Craig, because he's getting very easily triggered. So doesn't have composure at all.
Yep.
He's a child.
Yeah.
He has the mental
Big child.
maturity of a child.
Yeah, correct. I agree with you.
Adolescent at best.
says it doesn't make sense. I don't understand it. Therefore, it's fake. Alex, this isn't about your feelings and your lack of understanding.
No.
This is about the physics and engineering that showed we absolutely. There's overwhelming amounts of evidence that we went.
Why?
The
There's
Grand
not.
Prix.
Yeah, the Grand Prix you're showing literally debunks your argument. The fact he brought up that Grand Prix because we looked at it, the dust from the tires will go and sit on the LM's feet. It didn't.
And what was the photo of the spacesuit shoes and the marks left in on the ground? Remember that?
They didn't. Yeah. There we go. That's
yeah,
the
they don't
space
match.
boot. That's the footprints.
I heard he had like slip-ons that go over the bottom of it. That's why it has the lines on it. Yeah.
It's a really high level of gaslighting. I have like a very short video, 6 seconds. It's even what they show, those shoes, you know, that's better than this video which I show you. It's pretty funny. Just only 6 seconds, guys.
Okay. So in other words, this is what they do. They have
Just
these
posted it.
these slip-ons over.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay.
When we get done with the debate, Craig's still going to believe it all happened. And everybody's happy.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, with the
Just-
woman, yeah. He's
There's
pretending
a
he's coming
stranger
home.
in my house.
Yep.
That's
like
you're cheating on me with this woman. He goes, slips up behind her, comes in.
That's the level of gaslighting, you know.
Oh God.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
And that's practically what it is. Yeah. Okay. Back to the Craig. Ugh.
Is
Well,
the
why can't we
absolute
go
killer.
today?
You
Why-
need
why
to
not?
explain.
I know.
Right.
Then why can't we go
even
today,
If, even
Greg?
if you say that this was slowed down, you
That
need
was
to
slowed down, that's why it has a
right, let's go with that.
trajectory.
You then need to explain why there is no turbulence in the dust. There's nothing.
No turbulence in the
That
dust.
was inside the studio, stupid.
Well, what has that got to do with him slowing down the frame rate?
Nothing. And if the dust is so fine, it wouldn't show that much turbulence. You'll be able to see it.
Oh my
Right?
word! And yes, there is turbulence. You can literally see it
is
on the
turbulence,
Grand
yeah,
Prix.
of course it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does kick it in
You
all
need to
directions.
explain
Uh-huh.
why there's no blast crater whatsoever.
I did.
Yeah,
Oh my
because of
lord!
physics.
Guys,
you just say
please
one
use your
word.
facepalm
You
protection.
can't just say, oh, physics. That means,
I
oh,
didn't
there's no
just say
blast
physics.
crater.
I
Yeah, that's
explained it
all
to you
said, yeah.
specifically. That I gave you the mechanism for why it isn't happening, Alex.
Craig, you know that I'm right. Okay,
What
but
is
it's funny.
with that? Oh my word. It's like he's trying to pat himself on the back when he says these stupid things. Almost like he's
Alex says
proud.
it. Yeah.
Almost like he's proud of himself. Saying, oh, I said physics.
I love that cheesy smug, not smug, but pleased with himself, brain. Not smug, but pleased with himself, brain. Like, yeah,
Oh my word.
dopey, isn't it?
You know that I'm right. Is that how you win arguments? You just tell yourself. So when you play chess, do you just like take your trousers down and shit on the board?
No, see, Craig, the difference between you and me is I'm being intellectually honest. You're not. Because I have two examples, and there's a huge difference, and you can't admit that there's a difference.
Uh-huh.
That's the sad. That's the sad.
Listen to him laugh like a hyena.
With the dust.
It is the same laugh Jamie trimmed out and put on
and
his.
the thing, it's put on as well because he pretends that he's out of breath with laughing. He's like, come on.
Yeah,
it's
it's
a
forced
very
laugh,
fake
you know.
laugh.
It's not natural laugh. You can really hear it.
Yeah, it's a forced laugh. It's a
he's
a
a
fake
fool.
forced laugh.
It starts out really high pitched, like
Going everywhere. Then I show you a blast.
Why?
crater,
High
like,
pitch?
oh, because of physics.
Because this
There's
guy
no dust
doesn't
on
have
it. It
balls.
just doesn't make sense.
Why high pitch? Because this guy doesn't have balls. Or maybe he has 3 balls, you know, because his bird didn't hatch.
It's away from it. It
There
doesn't
would be
go
dust.
back.
Okay,
the wheels
it's-
are kicking
and
the
you know
dust in a
what's funny?
specific
We
way
can-
that
we can
stops
keep-
them.
If you have half a brain, common sense, just ask yourself, why does
would be
one
helpful if
image
you
have
did.
dust everywhere and why does the other one not? But listen, we
I'm
can
pretty
talk
sure I
about,
explained that
let's
to you
talk
guys,
about
but-
other stuff. Okay, well, let's talk about what Werner von Braun said if we did get on the moon, because you talked about micrometeorites. And because there's no atmosphere on the moon, that there's tons of micrometeorites, correct?
Yes.
And Werner von Braun even said that if we got to the moon, that we'd immediately have to find a cave to go to because you would be at risk of getting killed by one of these micrometeorites. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
No, he didn't. There's
He
a
did
few
say
things
that.
you said that weren't true. For instance,
He did. He said that they would need to go somewhere.
That's interesting. I've never heard that. Let me see.
Bet you'll find the quote from one around Ron.
Let's see. Just trying to see if I find anything for it. I am for the stars, but I keep hitting London. No. I don't know if anybody can find that claim because I've never heard of that before.
Neither have I.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
You don't think Werner von Braun brought up micrometeorites and the threat that they had to astronauts?
They didn't say
so
they
you're saying
have
that?
to
Wait,
go
no,
there
real quick,
immediately, right?
because you just
Let
called
me
me a liar.
explain,
No,
let me
you just
explain.
called me a liar.
I said you got it wrong.
No. You
I
called
said
me
you
a
got
liar.
it
You
wrong.
said you called me a liar.
Okay, well,
did Werner von Braun ever talk about micrometeorites?
Yes, but
and the threat that they had to astronauts.
He never said as soon as they get to the moon, they're going to immediately have to go to a cave. What they did was they considered the impact of micrometeorites and how they might have to deal with it. One of the suggestions was that they find the moon caves because the formation of
What I just said, that's literally what I just said, and you said I'm wrong.
You said that they would have to immediately go there. It was just a thought of one of the things that they would do.
That's what that was a possibility. That was a thought. So I
That's
didn't
not
lie.
what you said. You just changed what you were saying.
No, I said that if Werner von Braun said the threat of micrometeorites, one of the plans was having to get
No.
to a cave
You said
immediately.
that as soon as they get to the moon, they'd immediately have to go.
That was one of the potential plans that they were. And you
I
admit
can't
that
find
they
it.
thought.
Right, here's the thing. When you
To
try,
be honest, I can't really find it. I'm
That brings
looking.
up a question. Now, why aren't there any caves on the moon, and why didn't they crawl in a crater or climb into a crater while they were there?
Because
That would've been
the
cool.
craters are all caused by that magic speed.
I mean, but still, they could scale a wall and like go inside a crater, right?
meteorites on the moon by
What if I'm right?
Ron. Let's see. The University of Alabama in Huntsville. See if they have anything.
I think that's near Flatzoid, not too far away from her.
The bibliography of Warner from Braun, 1967. Scientific. Okay.
That looked like Star Trek's logo.
That one.
It does.
Almost is. Yeah, almost.
Very much so.
I wonder where they got the logo for Star Trek.
All the logos for the so-called space, and whatever NASA, whatever, all of them, they look like a letter A, kind of, and it's extension of the snake tongue. So yeah, that's all in plain sight.
Well, they
How
say
is
it's a
possible that
vortex.
all countries across the world have all those similarities? Even Russians, supposedly enemy of the USA, the same logo everywhere, each country.
Same artist.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. It doesn't. I can't seem to find it, so I'll need more time.
Alex, when you plan something like the moon landing, you have to consider so many things. And one of the things they considered was, well, maybe it would be sensible if we looked for some kind of cave or something. But they then found out that wasn't really necessary. They picked specific spots. They made sure that they had protections. They made sure the minimum time doing the EVAs. All these things were kind of accounted for in advance. You're not understanding the fact that
No, I understand
they
it. I
try
understand
to, look in advance as to problems that could happen and maybe come up with ways to fix them. Doesn't change what actually happened when they went to the moon landings. One thing you said that I really want to touch on in your intro,
Please.
you said that Russia went to the moon first and got samples. Who the told you that?
That's true.
No, it's not.
Russia went to the moon first.
No, they did not.
Yes,
Russia
they did.
never went to the. Russia went. Right. Here's the thing. Russia absolutely destroyed America in the space race up until the moon landing. They were the first people to put a satellite in orbit. First to put a person in orbit. First an animal in orbit. But the first people to go to the moon and go on its surface with anything was the Americans. The Russians did not go and get a moon sample and bring it back. I don't know who told you
Well,
that.
it says it right here. Soviet Union's Luna 16 spacecraft was the first robotic mission to return lunar soil to
The
Earth.
first robotic mission.
That's what I
That
said.
wasn't before the Apollo missions, though.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Alex Stein did let the ball drop there, but did they have the means to have robotics in those days to do anything? No.
Oh.
It was Russians, what they were doing, they were creating, and they were creating everything from the cartoon, like wooden, plastic, fucking all this kind of stuff, and because they didn't have budget. So I don't know how did it work for them, but they were saying they were very accurate, and the Americans, NASA, supposedly they were very surprised. They were able to achieve such high accuracy with their projects, So it's all BS anyway.
Missions in the 1969, Alex.
Well, they were the first.
Which
person
kind
to
of
do it.
robots were you?
They were in 1970. In 1970, they were the first people to do it.
Have you watched Back to the Navigator? The robot in that, the thing that
Light
goes,
is
hello,
Navigator.
little boy.
Hold on,
That was the robots. They not even that time.
Hold on.
What the actual?
Well, I don't believe they did either. First of all, that's why I don't know all the information about the Russia. But I'm just saying Russia faked it. My whole point with that is that Russia did some fake stuff too. So that's why they don't tell on each other.
Everything's fake.
Not every.
Wow.
Not everything. The majority is fake. I agree.
What a response.
Everything is fake. Well,
Alex,
it's
before
funny
you go to
because
bed
you
at
called
night-
me a science denier, yet you're the one that's defending a person that killed a bunch of Jewish people. So
I'm not defending.
yes, you
I'm
are.
not once. Right. Here's the thing. Only you
Was
brought up that.
was the
I
Holocaust
do not
bad? Was the Holocaust bad?
Of course it was, but
So,
that
do
doesn't,
you agree
that
with,
doesn't
do you agree
change
with
the
Operation
fact.
Paperclip?
I don't agree with anything that the Nazis
Do you
ever
think-
did.
I know,
I
so-
do not care
do you think it's
about
okay,
Operation
though?
Paperclip. I care about whether we went to the moon or not.
I know.
The fact
How
that
about
Warner
this,
von
Craig?
Braun.
Has
Right,
a
hold on,
Nazi
hold on,
ever
Alex,
lied?
hold on, hold
Do
on,
Nazis
hold on.
lie?
He doesn't want to ask questions, does he?
No.
No.
Huh.
Why allow him to talk?
The fact that Werner von Braun came from Nazi Germany does not change the fact that humanity went to the moon. Even
He's
if
promoting
he was an
Holocaust
absolute
anyway.
monster that
It didn't happen, you know. I gave you before numbers. Before war, official numbers says there was, I can't remember, 4 or 5 millions. Then in chambers and so on, supposedly 6 millions died. Yeah, all right. Okay, maybe they mixed up some numbers. But then, after war, 5 millions of them claimed the reparations. So how is possible? The numbers do not add up. Then if you check the chimneys, they're not even attached to anything. Then if you check the chambers, there are wooden doors. Wouldn't it be like a rubber and steel? It was freaking wooden door. People were going there. They were taking the freaking samples of the ground. There was nothing to find any chemicals. Only Cyclone B in the clothes, because they were using that to clean the vermin, because they were always very dirty. That was it. There is no evidence. Someone made several calculations to check how many people would have to die to reach 6 million to kill in the chambers. It was 1 every minute. Nowadays, if you have incineration, it takes 5 minutes with the modern technology. So it's all BS, all scam. Of course, they did. Some of them they died, but mainly they died at the end of the war because there was starvation.
The thing is, they did have a Holocaust. They just made it more than what it was.
Exactly. It was minuscule numbers. To be honest, in the
they
camps,
claimed 6
more
million
died.
in 1915.
Yes.
They claimed 6 million several
Always.
times over
Yes.
history.
Yeah.
This is all due to a prophecy that the Jews will return to Israel less 6 million. Okay.
And the thing is, people are always divided. Oh, Nazis were good because they were unliving those. Oh, that's not true. They were bad, and so on. It's all divide and conquer. If there wasn't before for the Nazis and taking money from the Standard Oil, which is hardcore Zionist, there would be no second war. If there wasn't the Nazis, there wouldn't be agreement that the country of Israel will be created. People don't get it.
Oh, that's why
they
it
are
was
so freaking looking into. Oh, they were good because they were unliving them. Oh, they were bad because they were unliving them. It's divide and conquer. The truth is much wider.
The father of modern political Zionism, Theodore Herzl, and I'm wanting to say in like 1896, said, it is important we must increase the suffering of the Jew. The anti-Semite will become our greatest ally in achieving our goal of a Jewish homeland.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. People don't get it.
No. A lot of people don't understand the political climate that was in America at the time. There were a lot of pro-Nazis here in religion and in the politics. There was
there still are. There still are. People have gotten out of the idea of what. See, there's really no such thing as a Nazi. That was a slanderous term that was placed against nationalist socialists. Okay, it's nationalism. The socialism is not political socialism. It's your own responsibility toward your country and toward your culture. And that was exactly what they were promoting. Basically making Germany great again, could I say?
Mm-hmm.
It's exactly what you're seeing going on now. It wasn't like, oh, we all hate Jew people, so we're going to just start a club and march around and be hateful. That's not what was going on. What they were actually fighting against, and in Italy, as well as Japan, was the incursion of communism, Marxism, into the society. They saw exactly what it was doing, and they decided to embrace their nationalism. And what the socialism part was not political; it was cultural socialism. That you help one another out. You're not forced to, but it's the right thing to do.
Historically, communism across the world was always, and I say always, implemented by crooked noses. You can't fight this argument because that's the truth. If you look into the history, you will find it. Always imposed by them. People don't even get it, how the World War I started and how exactly USA got involved in the First War. Let me explain you one thing or two. Probably some people don't know it. Majority people, I assume, don't. There was a war between the Austria and the UK, England. During the war, because the Austria and the Germany, they had a pact. Germany were helping Austria. So it got to the point that the UK had only water, ammunition, and food for 2 weeks. So Germans took the stake to the high ground and said, "Okay, let's stop the war. Let's finish that." But because crooked noses were already starting moving out from the Germany because they were taking over everything, they were destroying society by promoting LGBT crap and so on, promoting sex on the theater, in live theater. So they were destroying society. So they were moving out, and they were losing their businesses, and they hated Germans. So what happened was that the England at the start they agreed to stop war, but then crooked noses from Germany contacted crooked noses from the UK. Told them don't sign the pact. We get involved, USA. Then crooked noses from the UK gone to the crooked noses from the USA, and probably you've heard about Lusitania. So they have sent Lusitania, which was a civil ship packed with the ammo fully, and they sent them to the war zone. And Germans were saying, don't send the civil ship to the war zone because you can make a mistake and we can destroy it. But they still send it. So when they send it, they shoot torpedo. And torpedo only destroyed part of the ship because that time they had protection. When there was a hole, the doors were closing. So this ship, even hit by the torpedo, was still traveling with the speed of sailing with the speed of 15 knots. So mainly it was not big thing because 15 knots is pretty fast. But unfortunately, when there was fire and all the ammunition packed under the below the deck just blow up, and then a lot of Americans died. And then big roar came into the USA, big propaganda, and America got involved in the war. That was big psyop. People don't get it. It was all because of crooked noses.
Yep. The German Navy had actually put ads in the newspapers, major newspapers, about traveling on the Lusitania because it was known for taking arms to Britain, and that it was a target. And it wasn't an accident that they lost their escort off the coast of Ireland.
Of course, it was a plan.
Not at all. That was a set up false flag. And ironically, just as the United States was sitting here with a blank, empty credit card, with an open-ended credit card, the Federal Reserve, boom, way to pull the rug out.
I just want to point out, you got a whole bunch of globers who don't know history is saying it's a disgrace what we're talking about. It's like, just because they don't want to accept history for what it is, now we're wrong.
Well, yeah, you got to look at what
historical facts, blobbers. If you don't know history, you don't know nothing, because you don't know how and when and in what way they will shape your future. You have to know history. Unfortunately, the phrase says you have to know the history, because if you don't, you are doomed to repeat mistakes over and over again. And one thing which we know from the history is that we do not know the history. That's
he who wins the war writes the history. But that's why I've taken, and where I've come to my viewpoints is that I've looked at it from what I call a xenoscopic standpoint. In other words, I don't have a dog in the fight. Okay, I'm going to look at the facts from both sides.
It's the same for me. Exactly.
Yeah, I don't care if Grandpa hit the beaches at Normandy. You know, I mean, I have an uncle that was at Anzio, and he won a Silver Star. He was a non-combatant. I have another uncle that was on a ship that was hit by a kamikaze plane in the Coral Sea. But I also have an uncle that was on the front lines at Stalingrad and was captured by the Russians. You know, so, you know, where's my allegiance? My allegiance, I wasn't involved. So I want to look at what was going on. What caused all this? You know, what provoked the Japanese to bomb Pearl Harbor? So you look at the events all the way up through late 1940 and on up into 1941. We were really poking the bear with Japan. And then by taking the provocative step of moving our naval fleet to Pearl Harbor, even against the protest of the admiral of the 7th Fleet, he said, no, we're completely vulnerable there. Roosevelt just fired his ass and went ahead and moved it there anyway. This was seen as an act of possible aggression because we'd already been poking the bear with Japan by embargoes and other such nonsense, even going as far as to having mercenaries flying combat missions against the Japanese in China and in Manchuria. You might have heard of the Flying Tigers. Well, that was, we move our fleet there to Pearl Harbor. Well, that puts us within striking distance or possible striking distance of the Japanese mainland. And they saw that as an act of aggression. So they just took it out. They warned of the attack. They knew the attack was coming and they ignored it because they wanted it to happen. This was the only way that they were going to get popular support amongst the American people to enter into World War II. By going to war with Japan, it by default put us at war with Germany, which was what Churchill wanted in the first place.
Didn't they do a rehearsal for Omaha? I've seen like footage of like a rehearsal. How do you rehearse that? What are you doing? We're storming a beach, but we're going to do a rehearsal before we do it. It was not exactly Omaha, the beach. It was down a couple of miles from where it actually happened, but they did it, and people were getting hurt in the process. During the rehearsal, I guess they were using live ammo to rehearse with.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird, yeah. And how did they get from Japan to Hawaii so quickly? That was another red flag for me. It's like the distance doesn't match up where they were. It was closer than the globe shows it from Japan to Hawaii.
Yeah. You look at it on a Gleason's map or an AE projection map, you can see exactly why that was seen as a provocative move. A lot of people don't know it. Here in the there's a Japanese battlefield from World War II right here in America. The Battle of the Aleutian Islands. You know how Alaska's got that little line of islands that comes out from it? Yeah, there was a battle there. And in fact, that's where they recovered a fully intact A6M0 so that they could study it. And they were able to fly it and find out its capabilities. And then once they found out its capabilities and how to fly against it, they produced an Army training film on how to shoot down the Zero, starring Ronald Reagan.
Nice. Was he flying a Corsair when he did it?
I think, what were they have at that point in time? Because we were going up against those in the Pacific. They had mostly open cowl fighter planes in the Pacific. I'm trying to think at that time. I believe that was the the F6F Wildcat. Yeah.
Wildcats are nice. They were agile for what they are. Not as agile as a Zero, though.
Well, the Zero, the only metal it actually had was around the engine itself and the engine. The rest of that thing was mostly canvas and balsa wood, and that's why they could fly forever on a tank of gas, just cruising along at idle speed, catching on the winds and gliding, and they were highly maneuverable. So it was hard for our planes, which were much heavier. When they go into a turn like that, the Zero can just go up. The other planes got to take that inertia and pick it up, and it'll go into a stall. So there was a lot of problems trying to fight the Zero. The height advantage in aerial combat, back then at least, was your biggest advantage. They found that out early in World War I. Because it takes more fuel and energy. It takes longer to climb to higher altitude than it is to just come down on an enemy. That's how the Red Baron got most of his kills, was he'd come out of the sun and he'd see somebody who was already half wounded, a crippled airplane, and he'd come down on it and finish it off. Come in from the sun. That way you don't see him either.
That's like a vulture, dude.
Yes.
Come in for.
Yeah, it's quite an art to the old aerial combat. I look at that like, I would say like World War I, World War II. That was kind of like the last. They were kind of like knights of the sky, especially like in World War I, because that started out. It wasn't long after we were given the airplane that they figured out how to. All right, they were using it for reconnaissance, and they could get up there and they're out of enemy fire. Nobody can shoot them with a rifle or anything up there, so they're up there looking at the battlefield and coming back and reporting what's going on the ground. Well, the other side sending up reconnaissance too. So the next step was these guys were taking up rifles and pistols with them, and they see the enemy reconnaissance, they'd shoot at them and try to get them, either killed or to go away. And it wasn't too long after that they learned how to mount guns to it and just go to town, use them for aerial attacks and everything else. You see a big progression in airplanes between 1914 and by the time the war ended, by 1919, we really had developed the technology. The old Hawker Hurricanes that the UK used in World War II were originally biplanes, and they took that top wing off and dropped a heavier motor into it so that it could achieve the lift and be a monoplane. Yeah, I know all about that. I get Bob on here and talk about some fighter planes and shit. I get my Globe and my little P-51 Mustang. We'll play. Where'd Flats go?
I'm here. I'm listening.
Oh.
I just looked around.
I didn't mean to take over about aircraft.
No stress, man. Yeah, just to reiterate, guys, no one's denying anything.
Are they saying we're denying everything? It's all fake.
Yeah.
Denying what? No, man. The United States had concentration camps even.
Yep.
We rounded up all the
Japanese died.
Court declared that the Japanese Americans were no longer citizens, and they were to report to a internment camp. And,
it's a historical fact.
What they could carry. They lost their homes, businesses, and everything. And then finally, in like 1982 or 1983, Ronald Reagan said, "Oh man, we're sorry." But nothing was ever done to make sure it doesn't happen.
What happened to them? They died because of starvation, because there was no food. If really the guy who you're talking about want to kill crooked noses, he wouldn't feed them. Why he would burn them? Just think about it. It's enough not to feed people for 1 week, and they will be all gone. Just think about it, guys.
Yeah.
Programming did the job.
Yeah, I know a girl who was actually raised in a camp here, a Japanese girl. I worked with her for about a year.
Manzanar?
I don't know where she was at. She was out of California. So.
Yeah, probably Manzanar then.
Okay. It was a thing, yeah. That they were definitely shunned by Americans. They did not like the Japanese. During this time, they were told that they were evil.
Well, and here's what's so crazy, right? We were also at war with Germany and Italy. We didn't round up German Americans and Italian Americans and put them in segregated camps. And there was more of them than there was Japanese Americans.
Yes.
But
I guess it was easier to do. Yeah.
Unfortunately, history was very bad, and
it was.
It's not that anybody's saying it was good or bad or anything. It was history, and it's part of history, and people, unfortunately, it has to be talked about. It's a touchy subject, and people don't like it. What can we do? It's nothing we did or whatever. It's part of history.
Yeah, Joyce B. Even now, this prime minister, I call him Satanyahu. He changed his surname from Polish surname, Małakowski.
Was he Polish?
Yeah.
Is he ashamed of being Polish or something? Is that why he changed his name?
No, like he said, her say Joyce B. I think it's her, to sound more Semitic. That's it, because they want to sound more Semitic. They are not even. Look, That's another thing. Word Jew and Semite was introduced. Sorry, word Jew was introduced with the King James Bible in the 1611. King James was Mason. I can provide you multiple facts. He was a Mason in the Perth Scone, so he was 33 level. There is even a monument for him over there. You can check it yourself. Don't trust me.
Uh-huh.
So that's why he was changing the words. He combined few tribes, which they were really Semitic tribes from 12 tribes of Israel, and he put them as a Jews. There was no Jew word up to 1611. It's made up word. People don't get it. People think that Jesus was Jew. No, it's impossibility because there were no Jews that time. Jesus was from the tribe of Judah, which are not Jews.
Okay, but let's carry on moving with the actual subject.
It's a good idea.
Yep.
Sleep. It would not change the fact that we went to the moon. So it's
He's
irrelevant.
defending a murderer. You guys are clapping. He's defending a murderer.
I'm not defending a murderer.
Yeah,
I
you're
literally
clapping
just
for
said,
a murder. You're clapping for a murder. Hey, literally, this is how.
Ladies and gentlemen, you were here. I literally just said. Alex, one sec.
He's
Right,
defending
I want to clarify here.
Well, you know, Werner von Braun did murder people during the Holocaust.
I want to be clear because Alex has said something that wasn't true. He said that I'm defending a murderer. No, I specifically said even if he was a monster and murdered children.
He was a monster.
Right,
and
I specifically said even if he was a monster and murdered children, it wouldn't matter in the fact that we went to the moon. But it would matter that I wouldn't like what he did. I would never agree with someone being an evil person. But it doesn't change the fact that the technology from him allowed us to go to the moon. Just saying that he was a Nazi doesn't stop what actually happened, Alex.
Well, I think it does. But it's funny because
you think saying a thing stops it.
I got a question. Why does he say Werner von Braun murdered children? Why did Craig go there? I don't think he was responsible for any children's deaths, personally.
It's his rockets that killed them as well.
V1 and V2.
Yeah.
I got you. Yeah. Okay.
Even though it was indirect, you know what I mean? But it was because of his rockets that many children died. But the point that Alex is trying to make is, why have a war criminal working for you to do something? You know, let's put it this way. If you are, let's say you're in war with someone, and that person is killing the people you know, okay? Killing your country, killing the children that you are defending and going on and killing everybody else and, you know, literally going crazy. Why would you go off the war and literally hire that person that should actually get the death penalty to
he avoided Nuremberg trial,
to go into business with you?
Yeah. But we have to take into consideration one thing. Those people who are in power, they do not consider themselves as a Polish, Americans, people from the England, English, whatever.
They're just elite.
Yeah, they're just elite, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
For what I remember, like the head of the SS Guard were actually members of the royal family. Actually, they were put in as colonels and captains of the camps.
There's a very big mix up between Germans and the royal family. Very big one.
But yeah, it's. There was also, I mean, with history, a lot of the
David Banner, I agree.
A lot of the conflicts they've put through were actually just based on a form of population control, because the elites that do this are unfortunately satanic by nature.
Yes.
So they do believe in population control, and they do, just like now, pushing Agenda 2030, and they're trying to push depopulation.
Yes, 2050, 2030, 21. But I have to correct David Banner. David, don't say we. It wasn't you who did it. It's not us. Yeah. So please never say it was we. We did it. As you take the responsibility for it. Please don't do it.
Yeah.
They have a very humanist outlook, kind of like the other debate he just did just recently, don't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think people take things too personally these days, where they try and link, just because you're from a specific place that you like part of the bad decision someone else has made.
That's right.
I mean, there's a lot of things that South Africa has also done that I think is really disgraceful and disgusting. And they still do it to this day. I mean, it's just like turn on the other foot even. But people still want to just keep in the past, you know what I mean? Like they stay in the past. And unfortunately, everybody today that's got nothing to do with what happened, half the people weren't even born.
That's right.
They still want to keep it as their people today's sins. It's like, what has it got to do with anybody today? Nothing. You learn from history and you move on.
It's almost too stagnant. They just go back to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I mean, it doesn't matter which time of history you go. There's always been this type of thing. Always been genocide. Always been killing for anything.
Yeah. I think it's related to the sacrifice.
It's part of the sinful world we live in.
Yes, and what Jolly Man said, Sweden, the World War Bank, Jesuits. That's what it is. That's why people say, "Oh, it's only crooked noses." No, it's both of them. It's crooked noses and Jesuits. People don't get it. So those people get connected by the money. Money itself is not bad, but love for the money is the root of all evil. You have to get it to your head, and that's what connecting them. Even if they're fighting each other, because they are from the opposite sides, the money still connects them and bounds them.
Okay, let's carry on.
Well, we're talking about the technology. The rockets, these Apollo rockets, right? What were they originally intended for? I said it in my opening statement. They were weapons, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
War breeds technology.
So I'm just saying, so this guy, Werner von Braun, and you're an English vet, is that correct?
Yeah, I was in the Royal Navy, yes.
And so a guy that bombed your own country, that killed your own people, you're going to sit up here, a Nazi that killed 6 million Jews, responsible for the death of 6 million Jews, you're going to come up here and defend him.
No, I'm not defending
all
him.
because you think it's so great that we...
What? Adrian, I was like, what's going on now?
Not once have I defended Alex. Can you please show me the point in this that I defended him, or did I specifically said that I reject?
You said you don't
anything
care if he's a murderer.
No,
all that matters is
no. I said it doesn't matter in relation to the fact that we went to the moon.
Well,
right? He could be actually Satan, and he could rip people apart limb by limb.
You'd
it
probably
wouldn't
worship
change
him. You'd probably
the
worship
physical
him then.
fact that we went to our only natural satellite. It doesn't. He was a Nazi, okay? He did bad things. I agree. That's disgusting. Everything the Nazis stand for, it repulses me. I hold the position, see a Nazi, punch a Nazi. I do not like Nazis. It doesn't change the fact that the technological advances that came from the V2 rocket exist. So, yes, I agree with you, Alex.
So
the Holocaust was a horrible thing. Let me finish. The Holocaust was a horrible thing. I agree with you. Nazis were evil. I agree with you.
Yet, your whole foundation of space travel is based upon the people you hate.
Does not change reality.
Well, I think it does, because if you look at Nazis, do Nazis lie? Did Nazis lie, Craig?
I'm sure Nazis lie, yes. I'm sure when Nazis were fighting the war, they told many mistruths, as did the American military, as did the British military.
So you admit that the American military lies?
That's how you do warfare. You lie to everybody else.
See, right now.
I love that. He actually admits it, yeah. They lie to everybody. That's how it works. Correct.
We're making headway. So he admits that the government will
well,
lie.
let me explain what I'm talking about specifically.
Do you agree real quick that NASA is a military wing of the American government?
No, it's not. Let me explain to you. Let me explain to you.
Yes, it's called NASA.gov for a reason. Ever wondered why it's called NASA.gov?
Even though it was
Alex,
started on military tech.
Here's how the American military lied, one specific way.
Well, why are all astronauts ex-military?
They're not. That's
well,
false.
that used to be, not anymore. You're right.
Right,
that used to be. They were all military.
Right, the American military, what they did, they lied to their enemies because they were getting bombed. So they made fields of wooden planes to lie to their enemies. Lying is part of warfare. Simple as that.
It's a part of government too. Would you agree on that?
All right, gentlemen, just to let you know, in 10 minutes, we're going to go to Q&A. Alex, you got your 4 rebuttals right there. Craig, did you have any, or you want to continue with this dialogue?
I'm happy with just going through the dialogue. Like there's some things I want to touch on that you came up in your intro. That's okay.
Sure.
Right,
what about the spacesuits, though? Do we touch on that?
We can get to that. That's one of the things. But first, I want to say you said 1 tank of gas. Right. Here's the thing.
True.
When you go to the moon, you don't need to have the gas on all the time. You get out of Earth's atmosphere, and then you fire engines, and then you keep going. You turn off your engines, and because there's a vacuum in space, there's no atmosphere to stop you, you keep going. And then when you get towards the moon, you then fire your engines again to slow you down.
And I just want to point out, that's just their belief. That's just their belief that if you are in a vacuum like space and you're going to push a rocket and, just switch your engines, you're going to carry on moving. Which also, by the way, goes against the first law of thermodynamics, because they're claiming there is no transfer of energy. Remember, a vacuum, even space vacuum, there is still gas particles. There's still transference of some energy. Eventually, you will have to stop. They're just claiming that never happens. So claiming that is not the same as actually demonstrating it.
So, but then when you're on the moon, because the gravity is so much less, the force needed to get off is so much less than when you get off of Earth. You don't need as much fuel, and then again, just a boost to get you to Earth, turn it off, and then when you get to Earth, stop it to slow you down. You can turn it on again to slow you down. So the 1 tank of gas is fine because you don't need it traveling the entire distance.
Well, just real quick. So the gravity on the moon is 1/6 that of Earth, correct? Yeah. So why didn't we need 1/6 the amount of power to get off the moon?
Because it's not an exact ratio.
It's not an exact ratio. Okay.
Yeah, but the amount of power that, and it's funny because this is the term that NASA uses called weightlifting. I guess they used to call it, how much weight can they lift, and SpaceX, they talk about it. If it took us a Apollo rocket, I believe, was it like a 27-story building? No, it's in the 20s, right? It's in the 20s.
Yeah.
And that blasted off. Everybody's seen the Apollo missions and how much gas and smoke and the explosion and how much power it took. And like you see those things and it'll give you chills. It's awesome. It is cool. And these rockets are badass. I agree with you on that. I think, listen, I'm not that far off. I like space too, Craig. You and I really aren't that different. Like most people aren't nerds like us. They're not looking up Werner von Braun, this and that. Yeah. So you and I really aren't that much different. We just have different opinions on one thing. So my point is, when you watch that, you see how much manpower and how much fuel it took to leave Earth. And then they tell us the moon is only 1/6 our gravity, yet it didn't even get close to 1/6 the amount of power it took to take off from the moon. It was like 1/1000th the amount of power. Yep. So to me, that doesn't compute. I would understand it's 1/6. It would take less power. But the fact that it took so much less power than it took for us to leave Earth, it's obvious to say that it's fake.
Again, with respect, Alex, that once again is just an argument from incredulity. You don't understand the maths and physics behind how much power would be required. Just because the gravity is 1/6 left doesn't mean that's an exact ratio that you transfer over to the power needed to escape the gravity.
Craig is correct there. It's because it's based on the weight, so it would be different. So yeah, Craig is right there.
Yeah, my question would be, how do they get lift in a airless environment, though?
They got the ground to push off. But the thing is, they first have to prove they can violate natural law to go there.
Yeah, that's without reason.
But get off the ground, wouldn't they? But then not much further.
They are busy fighting in Narnia at the moment to prove stuff in Narnia.
Yeah. It's kind of like a flea jumping off a dog's back. If you jump high enough, you'll fall far enough away from it. Yeah. I got more respect for fleas.
But we can talk about weight, right? So like, an astronaut
I
on the
could
moon.
sit and talk you through the maths, but it's very complicated.
Well, okay, that's cute to say that. I'm sure it is complicated. I'm not arguing with that. But when you're on the moon, an astronaut in his full spacesuit was about 75 pounds. So the lunar lander on the moon would be 1/6 the amount of weight. We can talk about physics all day long. There is weight. It has mass. So just your physics, whatever, it's going to take a certain amount of power to lift weight.
And they calculated that power that they needed and then got off the moon.
And again, it's funny because they were on the moon for 33 hours, I believe, the first mission. Where did they go to the bathroom, Craig?
in their suits if they needed to.
That's what they supposedly had diapers. So you're telling me these people are so smart. They have the greatest technology in the world. They can go from Houston, Texas to the moon, but they can't figure out how to poop. I mean,
well, they did figure out how to poop. They did it in their suit, Alex. Yeah,
I know.
That is figuring out how to poop.
Yeah, imagine living in your own feces and pee for 3 days straight.
Right? You gotta walk around with a big old load in your drawers. Come on, man.
They did not have shoes from the Dune, you know.
And now I want to point to another point. Now imagine sitting next to two other guys with their own feces and pee as well in their own diapers. And now let's make it even better. All three of you are sitting in literally next to each other, sweating next to each other, right in each other's noses, smelling all this for 3 days.
What was their comment? Yes, finally, I feel like myself.
Whoa. Why can't they figure out a way to change their diaper at least while they were walking around?
Yeah,
maybe.
Exactly. But they're not smart enough to just figure out, hey, maybe, just maybe we can put a hatch by our buttocks so we can actually remove our diaper.
Alan, it's your turn to change Buzz.
Insane.
I think so. It would be a bad idea, you know, to remove this extra weight in their shoes because they will probably fly off from the moon because they will be too light. So
they had them rocks.
Yeah, you help them, you know, stay on the level.
They had all them rocks too, so they were heavier.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now listen, this is funny about that too, because how they got them rocks. They wanted to preserve whatever the atmosphere on the moon was in the case with the rocks.
Mm-hmm.
So these things were sealed up. So they put these rocks in these boxes, in these cases, like suitcases, and then sealed them up and then brought them back to Earth. Oh, okay, sure. Why didn't it not smash in on itself?
You are right, yeah, because now it's a very low pressure inside.
Yeah. No, can't do it, baby. Can't do it.
And also, couldn't they have just relieved their
That's a good point.
diapers
So
when
I
they
never
got
thought
to
about
the
this.
moon?
That's a good one.
They could have also just flung their diapers in the moon, you know, away.
Oh. Then the little turd takes orbit around the moon. The moon's got its own little moon. The moon's got its own little moon that came from Neil's moon. That's messed up, man.
It'll turn into a planet eventually. It could be the core of a planet.
Little turd with gravitation.
Go there in a poopy diaper the
Yeah,
whole
that was
time.
part of it because
Can you imagine that? Think about that, guys. Neil Armstrong's walking on the moon with a diaper full of shit
hold on,
in
Alex,
his
what
butt
do you think they're gonna do? Do you
that
think
he's
they're
been shitting in for days. Think about how smart NASA is, guys. They're like, hey, we're going to send our astronauts to the moon.
Lander, Alex.
Why not? They have it in the ISS. Why wouldn't they have some sort of device to poop and pee in? We're human beings.
The lunar lander specifically was just to go from the orbiter down back.
Yes,
down
Michael Collins supposedly stayed in it. Then they went down. Yes,
and
yes.
The orbiter had better facilities for doing that and stuff, but the lander they had to think about
Could not
every
poop or
single.
pee, yeah.
They had
What
to
about
think
when-
about
what about
every
when they
little bit of weight, right? So they had
Apollo
to think about
16, they were there for over 3 days with no toilet.
Oh, again, they've thought about this.
Think
and
about
integrated
that.
things in
Apollo
their suit.
17, guys. They had a diaper on.
You
These
know what?
astronauts had a diaper on for
Alex,
3 days, shitting and peeing
Alex,
in a diaper.
this wasn't a jolly. This wasn't a holiday to the Bahamas where they want to be comfortable. None of them probably felt happy and comfortable
I like
doing
you, and I do
right?
think you're smart, Craig. But
I
listen,
appreciate
we don't.
it.
Doesn't take a
I
physics
don't think you
degree to think that if you had to walk around with your butthole covered in poop, it would.
I also want to point out, guys, you know when you were younger and you shit your pants or something?
You cried.
And you didn't clean properly. You get a rash, don't you?
Yeah, of course.
Now imagine, because shit is acidy. Now imagine for 3 days long, you're not able to clean that shit. It kind of dries out on your skin too.
Of course.
And it's very acidy. How the hell would you even walk normal?
And piss has got ammonia in it.
Yeah. It's insane. You're telling me that this skin was perfectly preserved?
Made it into a nice lotion.
Nothing. The point about this is nothing makes sense.
No, not at all. Not at all.
got a turd orbiting the moon, like a moon. And then that turd's got a little piece of corn orbiting around it, like a little moon. It's just fractal. It's totally fractal.
Ah.
Oh,
That's retarded.
Oh, look, it's
Oh,
a half.
wait, and think about it too. When they returned, didn't they go straight to decompression?
Yeah.
So with all the stinky diaper shit, they still went to decompression.
And these, sitting there. Oh.
Oh no.
You're like a fart in an elevator in there too.
It's diaper rash from hell, exactly.
Oh man.
Wow. No, then I'm sorry. I don't buy that. Just based on that alone, I don't buy that. It just doesn't make sense.
Be hard to do science, okay? That I mean, that's
no one is saying it's not hard,
that
Alex.
would be
Like,
hard to do
no one
science.
is saying that what they did on the moon was easy. It was one of the hardest things humanity has ever done.
Oh, like play golf, do a Grand Prix.
You know, you're going to sit there and play golf while you're all uncomfortable with Keith up your gearbox. Come on.
Oh, no, really?
They were probably uncomfortable. They probably had diaper rash. They probably had, cuts and horrible stuff from doing that. But it doesn't change the fact that it happened. Some of it was probably extremely gross. They had to turn their own urine into water to drink. That is fucking horrible. Doesn't change the fact that it happened. Just because something's gross.
I love how that guy claps. That guy probably has a diaper
5
on
minutes
right
till
now
the
too.
Q&A. 5 minutes, guys, if you want to move to the
Well,
another subject.
and Craig, I've really enjoyed this debate. We need.
Okay, I guess we're stopping there. There's just Q&A stuff. Oh, man.
Oh, wow. That was fun.
But yeah, I think the diapers kind of show me that it can't be real.
Well, it certainly tops it off.
Let's see.
Madness.
How did the astronauts...
Flat.
To
be honest, this argument was not shitty.
Landing. Let me see if I can pick up anything.
And then Buzz got to be number 2 to come out.
I go to the toilet only for 2 reasons. Number 1 and number 2.
That's 3 reasons? Yeah, I guess so.
Third one? Can't think about.
Well, at least they didn't have diapers in Antarctica.
Well, it depends.
They had. Oh, here we go.
What?
Oh, it's a butt gasket, man.
Oh, come on.
Adhesive tape to the buttocks. Plastic bag. A finger cot. Pocket tissue wipes.
Oh, come on, man.
What?
Where do they put these on and take them off at though?
So
they could even. What? Let me ask you a question. They could even hold a camera. They could even hold a camera there to mount it to the chest. How the hell would they do this?
Yeah, exactly. What's the finger caught for? Is that to give it a little wave?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are they doing that, man? Do that? Come on.
Try that sometime. Get yourself a lunch sack and try to take crap in it.
So they were making a dam. They were mainly making a propulsion, So I think so. They had to be trained or something. So they do not flow away from this from the moon.
I mean, look at this is when they're back. So they're sitting there.
Oh yeah,
that's an Airstream trailer, dude. That's an Airstream trailer. Look at that.
Yeah.
Did you observe their faces? I've seen the video. They weren't like someone who achieved so big thing. Like the same during the interview. They didn't want to be there. You can see it by their body language even.
Also point out all the blue Masonic symbolism behind this.
Yeah, maybe
I want to see flag. If it's maritime flag or without these freckles.
This is the trailer you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
So is that a decompression chamber or something? Why were they they're delousing them or something? Why are they in there? I don't know.
My grandpa had an Airstream trailer.
They're nice. Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Well built. Aircraft aluminum.
Yep.
Why is it not?
You're not going to use one for a decompression chamber. That's dumb.
Yeah. I'm just wondering about that. But it made a good show, and Nixon is up there. Hey, look here, guys. Hi.
It doesn't look very airtight to me.
No.
No. Not necessarily, no.
I don't know why, but it doesn't look very tight.
Where's the museum at there? Houston?
Huh.
Why is there a baby in the picture over there with a diaper on it? That's my question. It's the baby in space.
But yeah, it's
Oh yeah. Rogers GoFundMe, guys. Rogers GoFundMe in chat, guys.
Yeah. Put Rogers GoFundMe in.
I got to get an ice pick and a climbing gear too, because I'll venture.
You see, they stunk so much that they had to put them in these hazmat suits.
Ooh.
And I want to point out as well, guys, this isn't pressurized suits there now. So what the hell?
What the?
Yeah,
fuck?
you
So
get the
by the time they actually get to decompressing, they've already had
Yeah,
issues.
they're already exposed, man.
They're already exposed.
Yeah,
This is not
so-
pressurized.
Well,
So
that
what's
makes
the
no
use?
sense.
That's all for the show. That's all. Yeah, those aren't pressurized suits at all. None of those.
Huh.
Boiler suit.
Yeah, and then people want to know why we're skeptical about any of this.
Oh, wow.
I always question the narrative. That's the sane approach. Don't just accept what they tell you. Just use your brain, please, guys. Ask proper questions. If you ask proper question, the answer will come itself, and you will see it's all a lie.
I just remember one of Bev's favorite videos was the vacuum chamber where the guy's tongue almost boils.
Yeah.
Those spacesuits don't work.
Alan Nostrand, they got meteor shower.
Where?
No,
I have
he
never
asked,
seen
when
one.
did they get a shower? I told him they got meteor shower.
Okay.
I mean, let's for instance look at how they do decompression with divers.
Yeah, it's proper.
They come up very slowly to the surface until they finally, get right with the pressure. So they are not able to first come up to the surface, then go for their compression. Now, with the astronauts, how are they getting out of the capsule, getting dressed in that hazmat suit, and then going to the decompression chamber to get decompressed, where they literally already went
Decompressed. They got decompressed to go and get decompressed, of course. Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. Why hasn't anybody literally, just works there, question this? This doesn't make sense. They should already be in decompressing before they even get out of their capsule.
Got washed up, then got decompressed, of course. Yeah.
It's dangerous, right? Doesn't your oxygen level in your bloodstream actually get toxic almost? It could cause you to go into like a coma.
Bends, isn't it? Yeah, the bends.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you get the bends.
Yeah. Don't make no sense, does it? None of that.
And then, just like Sandra said, look at a real decompression. I mean, look at how this thing is built. This compression. I mean, they're very specific.
Compression sickness, yeah.
Look at the shape that they are. Look how thick the walls are.
Decompression sickness.
It's a very specific reason they are the way they are.
Yeah, it's
Now,
not an
compare it to that trailer.
It's an Airstream trailer. But it's all shiny and stuff, so it looks technographical,
Yeah.
Ooh.
That doesn't make sense. That's just saying that you can see it's just all for show, man.
Oh, just to quote Anthony Kiedis, space may be made in a Hollywood basement somewhere. I'm pretty sure of it. They like the Airstream trailer. Yeah.
Wow.
It's all shiny.
Shiny, shiny,
And
shiny.
Well, the thing with the Airstream, why they built it like that was to reflect the heat, so you could take it out to the desert and like camp. Yeah.
Okay, closing statements.
Oh, FTFE, just same as normal, isn't it? Same old, same old. He was just as he pretty much just did the same, and I know that the topic was different. Did the same in that debate as what he did with Andrew Wilson.
Yeah, it's just like cookie cutter. He says the same shit, just all the same stuff.
Yeah,
yeah. He's just, I think, just some kind of an autist. I do.
Absolutely. I don't think he's ever got a chance, isn't he? And I don't understand why he's MDT's golden boy at the minute. I mean, what the heck? And the thing is, he debates people. Well, he tries to debate flat out first, and they're deciding to stop. They're deciding to stop doing that. That's a bit strange.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well, yeah, it's up to them. But yeah,
Craig's just
decent stream, man.
Yeah, Craig is just a little high strung, dude, and he seems to get emotionally attached to the topic instead of look at it critically. That's the way I see him. He's invested in it. He loves it so much that he'll put blinders on. You know,
that's what makes him a gaslighter. Then just because he's invested in it doesn't mean say we should be.
Yes,
we should like that.
Take a step back.
Okay, my end statement. It will be a statement with a bit of twist. I think that we can all agree that good quality comedian can tell jokes with straight face. Yeah, that's the reason why I think Craig is a better comedian than Alex.
Nice.
Well, the votes, Alex owned FTFE, yes, 69%, no, 31%. I think that says it all.
Yep.
One. Yeah, it's the one.
Is it movie night, PJ?
No, it's not movie night till Friday.
Damn, boy.
I'm messing with him. I like it.
And you know when it's movie night, I do it after flights. Like through the week, it's 2 p.m. GMT. Movie night, movie nights on a Tuesday, and then at the weekend at some point.
I heard you guys did airplane, and I missed it. Dang it!
No, we did. Yeah, we did airplane weeks and weeks and weeks ago. We're doing airplane 2 this weekend, actually. Airplane 2.
I like airplane 1 better. It's just more.
But we've done that. I'm not going to watch it again just for you.
Damn it!
You can go back and watch the stream, or just watch airplane.
Yeah, I like the autopilot on there.
Yeah, no, just a normal stream tomorrow. I'll put the links in.
Guys, there is 80 likes. Just hit 20 more, please. We get 100.
Oh, come on.
For flat.
Yeah, that's pitiful. That's so close.
Okay, so thank you all for coming. I appreciate you guys. Make sure to catch Solve's stream, Roger's stream, and PJ's stream.
Guys, drop the links and say how long from now till the stream, so I will know how to manage my time.
I don't know as I'm having one tonight. This is Wednesday. I had one last night. I was up pretty late.
All right.
Talking about the gold, man. And listen, I got this did you see where they uncovered the Social Security? They had like these people that were 200 years old, like still getting Social Security and shit like that.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, see, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt on that because I think I got this figured out.
Go on.
Vampires, man.
Yeah.
Vampires.
Yep.
See, and I noticed that if you look at the era of time, right, of where there was more like an increase in, like there's a bunch of 150-year-old people getting Social Security checks, like it's in the thousands. And it's those people came about right after they assassinated Abraham Lincoln, which, as everybody knows, was a famous vampire hunter. He's known as the president of the United States, but he was a vampire hunter too. I saw this really great documentary called
What we know from the scripture. That
Yeah, I
life,
think that
life
that's-
is in the blood, yes? Adrenochrome?
Well, yes, he is. And so, is it a coincidence that that age group of people right after Abraham Lincoln was assassinated increased, and they're still getting Social Security checks? It's vampires, dude. Absolutely.
You sure it's not like just fraud? The people pretending like they're that old?
Oh,
Like,
come on! You're talking about the government. Why would the
hell.
government fraud us?
Why government would lie? Government is your friend.
You're a conspiracy theorist.
Who
Stop
said
it.
that? There was one of the presidents, U.S. president said the most, I think he said 9 terrifying words is, I am from government, I'm here to help.
That was Ronald Reagan.
Ronald Reagan, exactly, yeah.
Good old
We
Ryan.
call him Bonzo. He went to Pittsburgh and did a speech about how war is so bad.
Hmm?
Mr. Jones, Flatzoid, what are your thoughts on Little Season and Altered Timeline Tide Christ 1,000-year early rain? We've talked about Little Season many times, and it's definitely not Satan's short season at the moment, because there's things that have to take part first for it to happen, and those things are busy taking, prophesied are busy happening now, and still have to happen before Satan's short season can happen.
Agreed. Yeah,
Jesus
I think it's a deception. I think it's a deception.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of people want to point to these impossible old architecture and shit, and I'm looking at this too in a different way. That, you know how it talks about, and there were giants in the earth in those days, and then
Yes.
the mighty men of renown.
Yeah,
Mighty men of renown. Okay, something that I've seen on this my lunch break channel too, and it's something that I've come to. All these heads and hands are broken off of these statues.
Yeah.
Why?
6
Why?
fingers? Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
And you see where they've cut off a toe on the foot so that it looks like there's only 5 toes, but it's obvious that they removed one. Polydactylism. And okay, so now what were these mighty men of renown? They were offspring of the Nephilim, which would have, I guess, like more supernatural type powers or whatever than mortal men would have because of the angel DNA or the watcher DNA that's in them.
Yeah.
That they were the ones that actually built this shit.
Yeah. See, that's what I think.
I know people who actually have 6 toes. Actually, I have a friend that has 6 toes.
But that's also why I say the age of the earth is not what they teach. That's why they teach. That's why they teach Earth is so old, because they know if they have to give the real age like it really is, it will show that the Bible is actually very accurate in the timeline.
Yeah.
Listen, when I saw the Grand Canyon in person the first time, the first thing that popped into my head was that's from the flood.
Yep.
So that didn't take millions of years. That happened rather rapidly.
You ever go to?
Straight through that rock, man. The amount of pressure in that water just cut straight through that rock, man.
Oh yeah,
it would.
Okay. Cheerio, guys. See you tomorrow. Many blessings. Sorry, I have to go sleep.
I hear you.
Sleep is overrated.
Yeah. Just to do a
it's not overrated when you have to work the next day.
I got the day off. That's amazing.
I don't have to. I like to work.
Oh, you one of those?
I'm not workaholic. To be sure.
God's plan my path through news. Fly